URT. Who are we? URT. Who are we? This is the URT. We are the URT. Big up the URT. Smash the like for the URT. Welcome, people. Welcome to the channel. Welcome back. Love light. Please smash a like. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Check out the match reaction after you watch this. I did an instant match reaction. Make sure you get to them because that's what's going to be happening. Instant videos, match reaction, instantly. Big up to everybody. Love and like. Smash the like. Subscribe to the channel. Coming up on tonight's show, this is the breakdown with the panel. But we calling all those twerkers, Ineos Glazer twerkers, all those people who got hoodwinked by the propaganda and the PR of this football club to the front. It's a Sunday still. Welcome to in front of the congregation. You are on a stand and you've got crimes to answer for. Last night I predicted, I said 2-1 United nick it because I thought Mbemo and Cunha will do it. But then I also said it could be a draw. I said it could be 1-1. And yet again, we were proven right. Big up the community. Love and light. But yeah, that's what's coming up tonight. We're going to be breaking it down. We're going to be breaking what Iwobi basically told and exposed us and said what we had to do. They just had to get on the other side of Bruno Fernandes and Casemiro. And then the level of embarrassment with his substitutions and everything else is going on with this football club is crazy. But people, strap in. Big up to everybody. Let's get the intro. That's what the show is about tonight. The show is going to be about hearing the match reaction from the panel, also looking at the Iwobi quotes, and then breaking down where Manchester United lost. I thought Fulham got robbed. If you want an honest answer, Fulham got robbed. That was the initial of my match reaction, and the midfield got exposed. Now, you don't have to be an amazing tactician. You don't have to be a coach. You just have to have watched football to see where are at the weakest. And Amorim and his system think that they can do something about this. They think they can do it in the Prem, and it cannot be done. You cannot be soft in the center and expect to compete and win games. But anyway, that's... Big up the URT. Big up the panel. How are we doing, people? Big up to Lesso. Big up to Ben. Big up to all of you joining us. Smash the like. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Luani's here. We're live. We're live. The panel is here tonight. The URT panel is here. Everybody's here. Everybody's here tonight. We got a full panel. So big up to every one of you. The least you can do for us, smash the likes on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Yeah. Boy, oh boy, when you got the captain moaning about referee needs to apologize. What the hell is going on here? What are we doing here, people? But anyway, hopefully the rest of them will join us. But big up. I get Lesso first. Lesso, how you doing, King? How are you? Big up to all my Southern African brothers and sisters. Love and light. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, big up to everyone. Big up Ben. Big up Luani. Big up Noreddin. Big up to the chat as well. And yeah, guys, smash the like button. And yeah, we back where we started from last season. So yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, but talk to me about the game, bro. Talk to me about the game. I think that in my initial match reaction was that Fulham got robbed. And that's why I still feel that. I think Manchester United played for 10 minutes or 12 minutes. And after that, we lost control of the football game for the amount of minutes. And it sat there and it didn't change what needed to be changed in the midfield. As soon as they figured out this gimmick of Bruno and Casemiro with a high press, and that we didn't even press and win the balls back that often. And then they just got in behind us and then exposed us, picked us off. And if they had a bit more quality, I think they would have won comfortably. I think, yes, Cunha should have scored one at least out of the chances he had. But if my auntie was my uncle, they call a different name. So we can't go if and buts. But go ahead, Lesso, and then we go to Ben and then Luane.
Yeah, man. I hate to say it, but I told you guys so. That's why I was very skeptical in terms of the game against Arsenal. When everyone was giddy, and there's a lot of things that I saw that were worrying in that game. And it may at the time have looked like I was negative or something like that, and I didn't want to see anything good. But once you see something, the problem is you can't unsee it. And as a former football player, when I see certain especially when it comes to the midfield, if you neglect your midfield, there is no future in what you're trying to do. Essentially, that's the most prized position within the team. You do not get it right there. Your attack can be exceptionally good. Your defense can be exceptionally good. If you do not have a midfield, you definitely do not have a future in what you're trying to do. I don't care who you are, which manager you are. You can be Pep, you can be whoever. If you don't get that structure right and you don't get that balance right, I'm sorry. In the last game, you had both Cunha and Mbeumo dropping down deep, right, to get the ball, or to essentially get the ball to the final third, because there was nothing coming out there. Now today, or should I say tonight, they didn't do that as much, and guess what? They didn't get as much of the ball in the final third as a result. So essentially, you saw this coming from the first game, that that was not going to be sustainable. They're not going to do that every game. So, unfortunately, all things have been exposed here. And I said it, this manager is literally, he's sacked. He's a dead man walking, because essentially he's still, the substitutions were never going to improve. You look at the team that he selected as well. Still, the substitutions, the team, the team that started, he doesn't even essentially have a plan B. It's Maguire. The plan B is Maguire. So for me, I'm sorry. Like, if you're that one faceted and that's essentially your trump card, you may as well throw in the towel, because there's absolutely nothing behind what you're trying to do here. And for me, with him trying to fit this whole thing with Bruno Fernandes and into that midfield, we said that's not gonna. I warned him. By the way, you can't say that I had an agenda or anything before someone steps in. I warned him about the players that are not gonna fit into this so-called system. I knew his system from the time he played at Sporting, that with Bruno Fernandes, it was not going to work anyways. That is why he had to leave, so that they could find players to play the specific way that he wanted to play. Now, he comes to Manchester United. He thinks all of a sudden that, Bruno can play the same way that he wanted to play back in Sporting. No. Like, that what type of midfielders and what type of players fit in his system. So this guy shot himself in the foot, and I did say that he's a gunner. The minute he did not heed those warnings, I knew essentially that he's already sacked himself. Now, can we also blame Ineos to a certain extent? Of course, this rebuild has been somewhat of a joke. But I also have to stress the importance of the system in itself. It was still going to hold us back to a certain extent anyways, and unfortunately it's curtains for him. But big up to to everyone. And yeah, well, with the Fulham game, again, we played only good for like 17, 18 minutes from what I saw anyways. And it all went to shits from there. It was all over the place. It was us trying to play the long balls again, resorting to the long balls as usual. And it was from there was no ideas in what we are trying to do, and we just didn't have enough people going forward. There was no midfield. It was non-existent whatsoever. That's why it was like a ping pong from both teams, essentially from there onwards. So I'm sorry, like, the guy is gone, guys. I don't know. It's only a matter of, I don't know when he's going to be sacked, whether it's in the 10th game, 9th game, 8th game, but it's within that period he's gone. And that's we have to look forward. At this point, I've already like signed out with that. I have to look forward and see what this club does beyond that. But that's it.
I actually disagree with you, less so that he's not going to be sacked. I actually think they're going to try to persevere with this guy, so we'll see. But time will tell. Big up to everybody. Please smash a like on the video, and please those answer the question. Community question is that as the fan base addicted to Ineos Glazer PR, because the PR, most of you have been hoodwinked by the PR, and we tried to tell you so last week, and most of you accuse us of being negative. So anyway, big up to Ben. Ben, give me your match reaction. Let me just get the super chat from Mufc. Big up Mufc says, I'm giving it till October break to decide on Amorim. If nothing changes until we need another manager, I will go for Glasner from Palace. He can play 3 at the back. Need winning manager with style. Yeah, big up to you, bro. Appreciate the super chat. Go ahead, Ben, and then we'll go to Luani. Then we'll go to Bumbaye, then Sean. Big up to every one of you. Big up everybody in the chat. Please get involved in the community question tonight, because I really want to hear you lot. But yeah, and also keep smashing the likes on the video, because the channel is shadow banned. But we don't give a damn. We're always here to express our view on the football club as best we can. We call it as we see it. We call it as we see it. So all those Ineos Glazer twerkers, come right to the front. Amorim needs more players. He needs more players. I said 5 to 6 players he needs, especially 5 players to be in that starting lineup. And this Bruno Casemiro gimmick is ridiculous. This other gimmick of bringing on defenders in the last couple of minutes, try to hoof the ball to them, is another gimmick. It's just ridiculous. But it looks like he's out of his depth. Go ahead, Ben. I'm going to mute.
Yep. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Luani, Lasso, Nerd, and Sean and Mumbai. And make sure you like the video chat and free Palestine, bro, every day. Do you know what, man? Manchester United is cancer. It's cancer. Like, cancer's global everywhere, right? Now, I'm not Amorim in, and I'm not Amorim out, right? You get rid of Amorim, you're getting rid of a tumor. You're not getting rid of a cancer tumor, right? You're not actually getting rid of the tumor, right? The main tumor. So you get rid of Amorim, right? But the cancer's still there. And you know what the cancer is, man? This fucking captain fraud of ours, man. I'm sorry, man. I cannot say Amorim right now unless this fucking scumbag of a fucking captain is still at my fucking club, man. Who the fuck does he think he is saying he feels upset from the fucking ref? Pull your fucking self together, man. You're a fucking captain of the biggest club in the world, bro. Pull yourself together after the fucking penalty, bro. Who the fuck do you think you are, man? You play for Man United, man. And you feel upset? Amorim said, he felt, Bruno looked unhappy, man, like after the penalty. Take him off, Amorim. Take him fucking off.
I said it, but I said at halftime, take him off. Yep. Take him off. Big up to Khalees from Medinasi, by the way. Make sure you check Khalees out on X. Sean, get your breath back. Ben, get your
bro.
Right, make sure you follow my Khalees from Medinasi. Go ahead.
Please, bro. Big up, please. Listen, I promise you. Look, Amorim, what Amorim did today, I agree with Lasso, is fucking embarrassing. It's actually sackable. But I'm sorry, Lasso, and everyone in the panel. You can't sack a manager unless the fucking cancer is cured. And that's Bruno Fernandes and Dalot, right? If you get rid of them, right, 100%, I'd say, right, Amorim's got to go right now. But you can't. I'm sorry. He's lived for so many fucking years for this, for so many managers. He gets let off. I've never been a big fan of scapegoats. I've never have been a scapegoat before. Like, Papa got scapegoated. The fan base were racist. I can name so many of our fucking players. But now, Joe, whose turn it is now? It's that wee fucking bastard Bruno Fernandes' turn, man. I'm going to scapegoat him like no one else ever done before, man. I was literally praying. I was saying to Khalees and Sheik, I'd rather see this cunt, excuse my language, see this cunt, have a fucking leg injury and be out for the fucking rest of the season than Man United getting top 5 of the season. I just hate this cunt in my fucking team, man. I really do, man. And you know what? I apologize, Nerd, and I apologize, Sean, and everyone, because I was one of the ones with Bumbaye. I was trying to be positive, and I said 3-1 Man United. I was wrong. And you know what? I take back everything I said. Unless I don't see a Bruno Fernandes in my fucking team, then I'm gonna be positive, man. I'm gonna be positive. I'm gonna say, look here, guys, we might have a chance. And you know what? If we still have the same problems with Bruno, so be it. But honestly, man, it's been happening for far too fucking long, man. The coordination in the midfield, non-existent with Casemiro. Wasn't even looking at Casemiro saying, Cas, can I go up or not? Can I go up or not? Nothing. It's fucking dreadful, man. And you know what? The Amber substitutions, man. Honestly, what are you fucking doing? Mainu and Joshua Zirkzee are on the fucking bench, bro. Put them on. Put them fucking on, man. Show us something. Show us something. I'm not not really Ammerman or Ammerman, but please, as a fan, show me something. I agree with Lesso. I thought we were decent at first 17 minutes of the game. Cunha should have finished one go. You know, I gotta criticize Cunha. Like, you know, Cunha, you know, you had a one-on-one opportunity. Like, you take your chances. This is Man United. It's a pressure. The pressure's going to build up. Arsenal fans are already getting on to, like, I seen your reaction, Nerd, and Troops rang you about freaking Benjamin Tesco. And you know what, man? I feel so sorry for the kid, man, because he got no fucking service again, man, because we don't play for the fucking midfield, because we're playing Hoofball FC. We've been playing that since fucking Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And do you know why? Do you know why? Because we got our fucking star boy, Bruno Fernandes. If he fucking goes, you barely see any fucking hoofball in this fucking team, man. Mark my fucking words, bro. It's embarrassing. I feel sorry for Lenny Euro. I thought Lenny Euro was outstanding today. I thought Bayendier, even though he couldn't do anything with the goal, I thought Bayendier's distribution was quite decent. His long balls were quite decent as well. But you know what, man? We can't go forward. We can't. I know I'm seeing a lot of people say, get this fraud out, manager out. I'm sorry, man. I have to stand it. I had enough with this fucking captain of ours surviving so many fucking managers, bro. Get him gone, and then we can talk. We can talk. But in terms of the game, Fulham controlled the game, man. Fulham controlled the game. We only played well for 17 minutes, man. And to see Mainu and Zirkzee not start or like play any minutes, and him bringing on Ugarte, and we seen Mason Mount and Bruno Fernandes in the midfield too, I was like, oh my god, I'd rather drink my own vomit than fucking watch that. And I'm meant to be going to see Man United versus Chelsea with my missus for a 5-year anniversary. What the fuck do I want to take her to that if Bruno Fernandes is going to leave gaps in the midfield, man? What am I meant to take her for? He's embarrassing, bro. Worse, honestly, I fucking despise. See, off the ball, one of the worst footballers I've ever seen off the ball. And do you know what? He did that on purpose, that fucking penalty, bro. Please, Lord, please, sell him to Saudi, man. I promise you, please sell him to Saudi, man. Please. He will. Honestly, I'd be so fucking happy, man. I'd actually say, right, I'd actually call it a successful transfer window, Nerdin. It's that bad if Bruno Fernandes leaves this fucking football club. And Nerdin, I know you hate talking about Bruno, but Nerdin, I promise you right now, you've said it for so many fucking years.
In the way he was, in the way that he was behaving today,
Nerdin.
it was a disgrace. He was a disgrace today.
I'll big up anyways, everyone.
His petulance is a disgrace because he's supposed to be the captain. Go ahead.
Big up everyone.
Go ahead, Luani.
Hey, good evening, my friends. Good evening, brothers. Good evening, Therapy Army. In the comment, good evening, everybody. As we were watching the game, I was remembering the comment. One of the comment that Bumaye was making last week. He said something along the line of, if Arsenal was the one that refused to press us, we will know in their next game. And then if we played well enough to force Arsenal back, we will also know that in our next game. Now, my question to you guys, do you guys get the answers that you were looking for today? When Arsenal played yesterday and we played today, do you guys get your answers? Now, second, I go to the game now. Amorim, I'm not sure what's going on with him. I look at the lineup today. I wasn't too critical of the lineup. I think Mason Mount deserved to start because of the way he played last time. That was fine. I was also okay with Ahmad starting because
yes, Windy, he said that. He said that. Sorry, go ahead, Luani.
So I was also okay with Ahmad in the lineup because for me that demonstrated the intent that we were trying to attack Fulham, even though we were away. But what's the point of deploying Ahmad and Mbomo if you're not going to have Mbomo drop in the midfield and give us the numbers that we need? So he kept Mbomo and Mason Mount as inside strikers almost. And you'll see when Fulham starts their phase of play, Mbomo and Mason Mount are higher than Cunha. Cunha is a little lower than them. I don't know what Amorim was trying to achieve, but as the game went on today, our standout player, I'll say 10 minutes into the game, Mason Mount was actually giving us some decent look. Bayende was good with his distribution. He was growing on me a lot. And those are the two. And Cunha was trying to make something happen. But people, the system is our biggest problem. I'm not going to go in on Bruno today. But I want to say that I think Bruno does not fit this system. When we played doing with Ole in a 4-2-3-1, and Bruno was playing in that 10, in the middle of that 3 up front, in the middle of that 4 up front, in the line of 3, he could make runs as a striker. He could make striker runs and score a lot of goals. Or he could hover in front of the goal and just take shots whenever. But in this system, where we're supposed to play with 2 10s, that Mounts and Bomo, Bruno does not have any license. He cannot have any license to go forward because he's in a double pivot with Casemiro. Every time he vacates that midfield, Casemiro will be left alone. Last week, we were saying that Arsenal actually didn't have to play through our press. They were going long, uncharacteristically going long. And guess what? Some of our fans were taking it as if our press was too much for them, was too intense for them. Look at what happened today. Fulham was playing to our press at will. And they were playing with 2 DM, and they were playing the 4-2-3-1 with 2 DM and the 3 up front. Josh can drop in the middle. The other 2 can also drop in the 2-10. They have 5 in the middle field, and we only have Bruno. And to be honest, Bruno today didn't even try to be a hero. He didn't go everywhere, but we just don't have the numbers. Fulham were playing to our press today. So that tells you that Arsenal, they didn't care. They had a 1-0 lead early, and that's about it. Now, what happened to the switch of plays that happened last week? Where every time we switched the play, Mbomo was always in a ton of space. I also said it last week. It was because Arteta was inverting Califuori. That space existed. I said that most of the team in the Premier League are not going to set up the way Arteta set up. Most of the team are not going to invert their fullback. Guess what? Today, the Fulham coach just told Tete and the guy that's on the other side, Sessegnon, you don't have to go. We just have to play a flat 4. They didn't even have to go to a 5. They defend us with a flat 4. Tete and Sessegnon did not go if they did not need to. And guess what? We don't have any answers. We become left side heavy with the combination of Dogo and Mason Mount. But on the right side, we couldn't do any switch of play. Suddenly, Mbomo is not touching any ball at all. Ahmad is having a bad game, not touching any ball at all. If you guys curious, just check how many touch does Mbomo have on the ball today. Very uncharacteristic. He have 32. Diallo have 34. I mean, seriously, Mason Mount's 29. What football game do you want to win like that? And guess who have the most touch on the ball in our team? Yes. Guess what? Bruno. Poor quality touch on Fed. And guess what? Our defenders. You can't win a football game like that. The situation right now we have is the system. I won't even blame Bruno. It's the system. Amorim have to find a solution. You cannot win a football game. His view of football is too linear. It's not dynamic. Everything is linear. Everything is in front, really easy to read. The ball go to our lateral center back, and they don't have any option to play through the midfield because Casemiro and Bruno are marked. Or if Casemiro is alone there, he's marked. Then we have to go long. We can say anything we want about the opportunity that Cunha missed today. Say, oh yeah, we should have been up 1-0. Have you looked at that ball? That ball went over the top. And Cunha, fair play to him. He made something out of it because it was him versus two defenders. In the real world, 90% of the time, that opportunity doesn't even materialize. We have to avoid looking at things a certain way. That's all I have to say right now.
Big up, Luani. Big up. I agreed with a lot of you said, but I disagree with some of the things. Go ahead, Bombaye. Big up to you.
Good
How
evening,
did you
guys.
see
Good
the
evening,
game?
chat. Well, I think Luani's assessment is very insightful, and he's right on the money. He echoes a lot of what I'm about to say. I'm not really bothered about Bruno missing the penalty. I don't care that he had a bad game. Ultimately, he's not a six. That's the main issue that we have here. We don't have a proper six. So we're trying different things. I didn't think Bruno looked right for me in the face. Everything about him today was not normal. Maybe he's the guy that's having to play.
The Saudi rumors heated up over the weekend, Bombaye. I'm just letting you know.
Yeah,
Many
I mean, if
reports.
bro, look, that's out of our hands. But he didn't look himself today. And one thing I'm noticing, Ahmad, I'm going to say this. It might come across controversial. I'm not interested in Bruno penalty, whatever. The outfield play. What does the outfield play tell you? What does the outfield play give you? What does the outfield play make you feel? It makes me feel nothing, and I just have one word constantly associated with this team. It's just boring. Just very boring. And Buemo is a good player. He's not a great player in my eyes. Not a world-class player. Not at all. I watched him live. You took me to Brentford. We were on the touchline for the whole half. I watched him against us. Was he an absolute essential player? Today, and this, he's good, but today Bassi just swept him aside. He couldn't outpace him. He couldn't nothing. Bassi just swept him aside, and he had him one on one like 3-4 times. Zero, nothing,
Bombaye,
nothing.
one thing I will say, just in
Now,
his defense, just to come into this point, at Brentford, they played the ball to him on the floor.
I'm
They
getting
didn't
to that.
hoof the ball up to him. They
I'm
didn't
getting to that.
hoof the balls up to him. I'm
I'm
just
getting
letting
to
you
that.
know.
Well, he had the ball to stand the player up 3 times at least, with a lot of space. It wasn't balls like over the top run onto it all the time. Bassi just swept him aside. Easy work. And that thing where if you want to play these 10s, they have to be narrow, man, with their striker. They have to be narrow with their striker. This wing back shit where
Who's going to give them the ball?
Sorry?
We're just hoofing the ball up to them. Nobody. We're asking them to
It's
drop
the
back
system.
and to
Look,
come and turn and drop.
what I'm alluding to here, Nuruddin, is what Luan is saying. The system is the problem. My eyes are firmly fixed on the manager. I'm not interested in the Glazers this season. I don't care about Ineos this season. We have a good team with
That's very
good
telling.
players. No, we do, man. We have a good team with good players. This system is arguably going to be the problem. Today, Fulham were very comfortable, very comfortable. He's thinking he's going to lull them in and then get Dorgu and Ahmad serious space and they're not going to get picked up. But nothing happened. Nothing happened. It was easy work all day. That fake run, lull you in, and then our fullbacks all of a sudden give us that width and they're in behind. Didn't happen. Didn't happen. Easy. Brother, Bruno, Kobe Mainu are good players. Bruno is a 10. He's playing in an 8. Amad Diallo has done nothing wrong. Is Mbuemo better than Amad Diallo as a player? Is he? Has anyone asked that question? That's debatable. Has he done
Yeah, he
anything wrong?
scored 20 goals last season, in the Premier League.
Is he better than Amad Diallo? We'll see.
He scored a lot of goals. Yeah, he's more consistent than Amad Diallo, yes.
So Amad now is playing as this right back thing. Bruno is obviously doing the compensation thing because you've brought Mbuemo, you've brought Cunha, you've brought Seshko, you've got Mount, you've got Xerxes. He's not his position. And today he wasn't. Look at his heat map. Like Luani said, I looked at it before I come on it. He's disciplined. It's centered where you want him. These guys, are they going to stay happy? You have to play the game of accommodation. Was Mbuemo absolutely essential? Maybe you save 65 million and go and get a Baleba, man. Go and get that guy that is the glaring problem in this team. He's not
Genuinely
essential
don't
to.
think I don't think Baleba himself is going to save this fucking football team.
No,
Dogu
but what
was
I'm saying
shot.
is every
Dogu
week,
was shit as
Nuruddin,
well today.
every
Diego Dalot.
week,
Talk to me about Diego Dalot when he came on. Talk to me about the subs.
before I get that, every week we can pick your back line, and the back line is doing its job. I have to say, Euro this week was good. Delict was good again. Last week it was them again. Brother, every week you can pick the team, but it's that second guy next to either Casemiro or Agate that is the biggest issue that we have in this club. That's why we're crying out. That is the priority position. You didn't need to go and get Mbeumo, in my opinion. You're top heavy now. You got Kobe who should be playing, who can play in a 10. His best worker, you've seen it in a 10. Can play there. You were arguing that last season. Bruno's playing out of position. It's not his position. He's not built to play there. What you look at Baleba and Bruno, they're different human beings, man. They're totally different players. Why'd you go? You know what I mean? You put all the eggs in that. Now we're top heavy. I'm looking at Ruben Amorim. It's the system, brother. And 5-6 games down the line, today he burnt some bridges. We've got serious fixtures coming up. If it doesn't start to improve in terms of outfield play, not asked about individual performances at the moment, the outfield play is no patterns. I'm still scratching my head. It's still relying on moments of individual brilliance. We're not carving anybody open. We can't open up a low block. We can't progress the ball from the defense into the midfield with numbers up in a good shape with the game in front of us to attack the opposition. And Seshko could be your new Rasmus Højlund if this is how it's going to be. Nobody gets a ball flashed into the box at the back post to score a goal. We don't carve teams open, man. Here's a chance. And when Cunha and Mbeumo start to ask themselves, why are we not scoring? Where's the opportunities are not there for you to score? They're not there.
Facts.
So
Fair enough,
for me, my eyes, I'm not asked. I don't want to get into Glazers, Ineos. The system for me is what I'm looking at now.
I just want to say to you, Bombaye. I just want to say to you, Bombaye. I'm sorry. I'm not letting you get away with that, and I'm not letting anybody get away with that. The people who own the fucking football club are responsible for what's happening with the football club. That is a fact. You can't
not responsible for the system.
They hire people. They hire people in positions, and those people make decisions. Owners are responsible. In modern day football, you're only as, this is the fact, you're only as, what's the word I'm looking for? Progressive. You're only as ambitious as your owners. That's what you are at the football club. So I'm sorry to say, you can't divorce the owners from what's been happening at this fucking football club for the past 13 years. But
it's not about. It's not about. I have to come back to you on that. It's not about divorcing or absolving. This is a team with £200 million of new strike force in there.
That's not enough.
Hang on a second. And they're still feeding off shit. That's because not enough. The system is not providing a platform for them to flourish.
It's not just the system. We watched it last season. Big up Saeed for the raid.
And exactly, you watched it last season. And what was today? It was deja vu.
Big up Saeed for the raid. Big up Saeed for the raid.
You've seen this.
Bombaye, let me hear from Sean
last season. So
Bombaye,
for me,
let me hear from
my
Sean,
eyes,
and then
bro,
I'll come
are
back to you.
firmly fixed on the manager.
Yeah, people smash the like. Let's get to 250 likes ASAP. Stop. The manager didn't bring himself here, Bombaye. The manager is a decision to bring the manager. Sean, I would like to hear from you.
But he's here.
Talk to me. He's here, yeah. He's here. And we said it from day dot.
And he has a responsibility to do a job.
Can't bring a coach. They went and
this team.
They had Ten Hag. They didn't learn from Ten Hag. They didn't learn from Ten Hag. You can't bring a guy who was successful in another league. It's not the Premier League. We said that from day dot. Go ahead. And then a guy who actually, again, doesn't play through midfield and neglects the midfield and expect to win football games in the fucking Premier League.
You can say that about any manager then.
You cannot do that. You cannot do that.
That's a silly argument.
Some managers were winning games because they actually had the bit of the midfield balance. or they could do something in midfield. This manager does not believe in midfield. Instead, we get hoofball. And for 15, I'll be generous. 10 minutes, United were on top. 20 minutes, another 10 minutes, 25 minutes, the game was equal. The rest of the game was controlled by Fulham, and Fulham got robbed. And
Nuruddin, you can say that about any manager, Habibi. I'll
bring it
back. Argument,
I'll come back to you. I'll come back to you. Sean, go ahead. I'd like to hear from you. Talk to me.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it wouldn't surprise people to hear that I agree with a lot of what Bumai said. In the sense that, for me, this is entirely on Amorim. I know we have our larger agendas about how the Glazers and Ineos are the root of all evil. But today, I think, in my opinion, Amorim takes the blame. I think he looks under pressure. He looks like a man who is out of his depth, right? I think he talks a big game.
Can I ask you one question, Sean? Did he keep himself the job after making Manchester United 15th last season? And does he still give himself the job? Does he employ himself? Is it abject from the owners and the football structure? I just want to ask. I just wanted to clarify that before you carry on with your argument.
Sure. Like that's not as good an argument as you think it is, right? Because the solution cannot be to press the X button, the red button, and blow everything up all the time. Amorim was kept in the job, right? He had a choice going into this game, to pick a starting 11. Right, a different manager with maybe more experience, with different sensibilities, makes a different choice, and that's what we're talking about. We should be able to talk about Amorim in a vacuum of sorts. So Amorim as a manager with the tools that he's been given.
In a vacuum, we should be talking. Like, I just want to catch that. We should talk about Amorim in a vacuum.
Not that we should talk. I said we should be able to analyze the game and talk about Amorim in a vacuum. So we should be able to say, for the purpose of discussion,
your club. What your owners are is what your club is. Whatever your owners are is what your club is in modern football, my friend. And the sooner you wake up to that, the better. Trust me.
So as the producer of the show, right? You're more than welcome to every single day you go live, talk about Ineos from start to finish, right? But that doesn't particularly interest me, and I don't agree with your point of view on that. So it doesn't help to keep reverting back to the mantra that you would like me to repeat. I'm not going to.
It is because some of you buy the propaganda, Sean. That's what it is. But go ahead, give me your match reaction.
Okay. So yeah, I think Amorim is cooking beans, right? As my people would say, he's making mistakes. I think those mistakes are piling up. I think the stats don't look good. I think the lack of confidence in the team comes from the top, right? The game against Arsenal, I don't care what anybody says. I think we played well. But after the game, I said it myself that it raises more questions than answers for me, because maybe the reason why we played so well is because of Mason Mount, and that's not a sustainable approach, right? We saw the same thing with Casemiro. Casemiro had a great game against Arsenal. I think you're stretching it if you decide to play him again against Fulham. And I wish the manager was smart enough or wise enough, to make that choice. Bruno had, I think, probably his worst game in United shirt today. I wish the manager was smart enough, brave enough, wise enough to make this call, to sub Bruno at halftime. Because I mean, I know people feel differently about this, but from a perspective, it's perfectly reasonable to steal a victory, right? From where I'm from, it's okay to get a 1-0 smash and grab, but you need to have the maturity as a team to ride that wave, to know that away at Fulham is going to have moments of dominance on the ball. So do we have a team mature enough basically to see us through, that storm? And clearly we don't. And it starts from the manager. It flows through somebody. I think, Amorim, if he wants to save his job, he should strip Bruno of the captaincy today, right? Because I think he needs to release himself from whatever shackle binds him to playing Bruno 90 minutes every single game. You guys know how I feel about Bruno. I think he's a good player, but I don't think he has to start all the time in every single game and in every single way. Today was a game for Kobe Mino or for somebody else to come in. Playing Mason Mount and Bruno in midfield is so naive. It's bordering on criminal, right? From Amorim's point of view, what are you trying to do? You have a striker, play that striker. So what does he expect to happen? If everything had gone according to his plan, We would have won against Arsenal with Mason Mount and Casemiro in midfield and false nine. Won against Fulham with Mason Mount and Casemiro, and then done what? Continued like that throughout the rest of the season, or switch to Sesko and then have the levels drop. Like the guy, I think, needs to, the system that he wants to play, he needs to put it on the table and show us, right? And actually go after it. Even this guy, like on the right, Ahmad. I'm not sure I like Ahmad in the position, having to do wing back job, running from back to front. But yeah, all in all, I put it on the manager entirely today, and even if he's not careful, he's likely to be sacked in the next few months.
Yeah, big up. Let me just get the super chats. Big up to everybody. Love a like. Please keep smashing a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel. There's over 500 of you in here. Please smash the like. Let's get to 300 likes ASAP. Big up. Rashid said, Nuruddin, would you take Muniz over Sesko now? Yeah, I would, because Muniz has got Premier League experience. And I actually think today, Iwobi and the other player that was playing up there with him didn't play. Instead, they all the attacking wingers or the attacking forwards on the flanks, they didn't go and support Muniz. They dropped him to midfield to overload.
100%.
That's what they did. They overloaded. So Muniz, if this is a diss at Muniz or me liking Muniz, that was the wrong game, bro. Because if you watch the game again, Iwobi played as a midfielder, and who was on this side? I don't know what the other player. Sigurdsson, was he Sigurdsson or something like that?
Castagna.
I think no. On the guy that's supposed to play on the flanks, they all played in midfield to overload us in midfield. That's what happened. Big up to you though. I appreciate the super chat. Bombay just wants Antonio Conte as manager. Big up to TV. Yeah, he does. Big up to 0067. Big up Nuruddin. Always keep it a buck. One love. Yeah, always.
No,
go ahead.
The reason I'm trying to bring your attention to the system and not focus on the players anymore is that's what we do year in, year out. We always focus on the players. Now we have 2 new additions. Our attack is supposed to function
and today they look
better.
Dead. When you don't have the ball,
exactly, because they don't have the ball. They have the fewer. Imagine we spend that much money we spend on them. They are quality. We acknowledge that. But today they have some of the fewer touch, the same fewer touch.
Why is that?
The one previous is the system. Now let's look at the system, right?
Because Fulham, let me just answer that. Because Fulham basically understood, outnumbered us, played their attacking players as in midfield. They had about 6 players in midfield, and they helped them control the ball.
So it's the system, bro.
Get the ball to them. Let me finish. They couldn't get the ball out to them because this coach does not believe playing through midfield. And if you did, you won't play Bruno and you won't play Casemiro there. Already getting outnumbered, and you try to get the wing backs to go out wide where you're getting so heavily outnumbered. And soon as that Mount, because remember in the first 10 minutes, Mount dropped in every time we lost the ball, was dropping in to help out Casemiro, dropping deeper to help out Casemiro and Bruno. But they bought more players. They overloaded even more, and that overload, Amorim had no answers for. Zero answers. When you're already starting with Kaz and Bruno, you know you're in trouble. The reason why he doesn't rate Bruno because he wants players Bruno as the number 10. He wants players who are dynamic and be able to beat people. Bruno doesn't do that. Bruno just runs around.
If we acknowledge that it's the system, why is everybody talking about Baleba? You bring Baleba in, it's going to be the same situation. Friday I came home, watched the Chelsea game. Then I watched the City game. Then I watched Arsenal game. The reason I'm watching the way their midfield is constituted. When you look at Chelsea on Friday, they have Esteban and Enzo Fernandez. They play 2-8, but they can invert Cucurella, and the genius of Maresca is now he even add Joao Pedro that he dropped in the midfield. That's about. And he played a single pivot in Cancelo. That's about 5 people. You go to City, it's the same thing. They can drop at least 4 in the midfield and invert Agnori if they want to. Now, watch Arsenal yesterday, it's the same situation. They invert Califuori. They can play with a single pivot and Califori. That give them 5. The way we play with the 2 double pivot, Bruno and Casemiro, right in front of our center back, and our outlets cannot invert. Our outlets are out there on the wing. Since we can play to the middle, we're looking for a straight ball over the top to those outlets, which is Ahmad and Dogu. But the issue with that is that it's too linear. It's not dynamic. It's easy to read. Any coach that play with a flat 4 or a flat 5 that lock up the wing, we just playing into their hand. There's nothing else we can do. There's nothing we can do. When the press come, we go long. That ball, it become a 50-50. Look at what Calvin Bassett did to Mbeumo today. That is what he's going to have in the Premier League. Any team will match out for pace. Any team will match our strikers for strength. That's just how the Premier League is built. If you want to overcome that, you have to play through the midfield. You have to give the chance to your creative players to be dynamic, to pass the ball in little phases, keep control of the ball enough to allow us to build different way of attacking, to allow our 2-10s to make running behind our striker to make a different kind of run. You just sacrificing them to the opposing defense. Linear, they man mark our players up front. It's over. Tete was on Dogu today, and when Mason Mount go to the middle, the one of the DM follows him. It's not sustainable.
At the end of the day, for me, I look at it, I think for the system to work, I said we need to get in 5 players. And this is where the owners and the people who are in charge come into play. I said before even towards the end of last season, and I'll stand by it, I'll take it to the fucking grave with me. I said that we need at least 7 players. 5 of them have to be outfield players and need to start. If we're going to get anything out of this football club, if they're going to back him, because they didn't back him in January, getting into number 10s and a kid from another league, you're not, and majority of fan base and the majority, the club brainwashed them, striker. What the F? It's not just Amarim, it was the same on the Ten Hag, it was the same on the bloody Oli towards the end. If you're not creating chances, if you're not feeding your strikers, you're not. And for that, we need to fix the midfield. So Amarim is the first team coach. Wilcox and Barada are meant to be the footballing guys. Why can't they see where everybody and their blind fucking nan can see that Manchester United are weak in midfield? How come they cannot fucking see that? Go ahead, Ben, and then I'll go to Lesso and then Bombay, and then we're back to Sean.
Yeah. For me, like, I kind of disagree with with Luani. We can't, like, the fact that we can't blame players anymore and all that sort of stuff. Like I said, we've still got players here that been here for years, man. Like, the midfield situation has not been addressed for so long. For me right now, like, I think Amarim's in-game management is probably like the worst I've ever seen. Yeah, obviously Ten Hag's in-game management was bad. Ollie's in-game management was bad in terms of Donny van de Beek. But this is next level shit, man, because the favoritism over Ugarte and Obrigado and Dalot, and Bruno favoritism, it's just too far, man. It's far too far. And do you know what, man? Like, I always said, for me, like, that the reason why Amarim would get sacked is because of Bruno, Dalot, Ugarte, just playing these players to death and just always constantly playing them, bad performances and stuff. That's the only reason he's going to get sacked. I generally, like, people might think this is a mad case. I have to see a Baleba and an Agume in that midfield too to judge this system completely. I can't judge the system right now with a guy who doesn't play as a CDM and a guy who's literally on his last legs. I can't judge him right now. It looks shit on paper right now. I think it looks absolutely dreadful. But as long as I see a Baleba and someone else, or it doesn't have to be Baleba, just someone who's defensively minded, both of them. The two in the midfield don't have to be attacking minded. They have to be defensively minded. Just like what Newcastle play in the 3. in the midfield. They're both more interested in what's behind them than what's in front of them. Joe Linton, Bruno Guimaraes, and Tonali. You know, it's crazy, man. And you know, I see a lot of people getting in the comments already, like, bro, it's the system. Like, how can you not tell, bro? I'm telling you right now. I that's just my opinion. I can't see, so I can't judge Amorim's system unless I see two proper midfielders, which I did tell you, Nerdin, from the very beginning. I want two midfielders in this window. I want more outgoings, and we're not seeing any of that, man. And you know what? You know, people say, you know, you can't criticize Ineos and Glazers. You know, it's the system. We're just going back to again, man. This is why this fan base is concussed, and it always will remain concussed, man. Because none of us, like, honestly, I do question like half of this fan base brains, man. Like, honestly, do we even have a brain in there, man? 20 years of fucking Glazer ownership, man. £1 billion in debt, man. You know, Ineos, you know, fucking this Jason Wilcox, best in class shite, man. You know, just get out of here, bro. Honestly, it's embarrassing. But that's my views on the system for Amorim. As long as I see two midfielders that play like a brand new, obviously, what's the word? Just basically a brand new like double pivot that I have not seen before. That's me.
Quick
Go ahead,
retort on
let's
that.
go.
Quick retort on what you say about the midfield. You said you want to see Baleba in the place of Bruno on the double pivot. It doesn't matter. Baleba is not going to be able to carry the ball past a stacked midfielder, a midfield of five. He's not playing against Cone. Once he step into that midfield, he'll have two people, or at least one person in front of him. He's going to have to pass it. If he make it past the first person, you have another person. This is not an issue of personnel profile. This is a system issue. You have to give the ball carrier, when you're building up play, you have to give him more than one option. We don't have that option. Our DM don't have that option. First of all, they receive the ball back to the opponent's goal. That is already a problem. So even if he managed to turn, he's not gonna be able to be the two-man press. We just don't have the numbers. We don't have the option.
Well, then get me two midfielders then, Nuani. Get me two midfielders. Then we'll see.
He has to change the system. He has to change. He has to
right now.
He's not changing the system.
But he's not changing the system.
Yeah,
He's not changing the system.
Ineos just need to act now. Like, now is time, man.
He's not changing the system.
But he's not.
Let's not get confused, people. He said he's not changing the system.
Yeah.
Go ahead, let's so. Go ahead, let's so. And then we go to
he's not going to change, unfortunately. He's not going to change anything. So that's why I know the writing's on the wall for him, because, you know, he's continuing doing the same thing over and over again, hoping for a different result. So essentially, he's already written himself off. Never mind us having to write him off. He's written himself off before. So it's I've always said this. I did always say that the system is a problem. You know, in the way we play, in the way we structure ourselves, you know, everyone figures us out. You know, once they figure us out, like it's game set. It's game set. So Fulham also took even with Fulham, I was about to mention, even with Fulham today, you know, after they realized what we were trying to do, it was done. Like the game, for me, I knew that it was done, because essentially if they do what they're doing and the rest of the Premier League teams do what they're doing, we're finding ourselves in fighting for relegation again this season. You know, nobody wants to have that discussion, but that's the reality of the matter, even with the players that we have right now. You know, so unfortunately the manager does not I feel like, it's both on Ineos as well and on him as well. Like, they don't prioritize the midfield. They do not realize how important the midfield is. You know, and it's worrying for me to think that we have an ownership like this, people, sporting directors and, you know, technical directors and whatever, and CEOs who think that the midfield is not a priority. You know, for me, that is a red flag. You know, and going forward, that's why I don't have hopes in what these guys are trying to do, because there's no vision. You know, there's no way you can tell me you have a vision without addressing the most important position within any football team and in football, period. So, it's sad, honestly. And, you know, unfortunately, like I said, it's not gonna look good for the manager. I wanted him to succeed, but I was also harsh to say, if I don't see anything in the next 3 months after he joined, then I know that he needs to leave. This thing of us, I don't know if it's a fetish among the fan base where they, essentially anyone who walks through this door, is always given a chance. Given. Let's give him time. Like, time is earned, guys. Even the guy himself, the poet himself, told you guys directly that I have to earn this time. I can't be given time. I have to earn it. And people are still, I don't know. It's a brainwash thing mechanism. I don't know. The places are just
fans are
genius.
easily manipulated. You see the PR. You see the PR. Everything that comes. Big up to Kron Kings.
Yeah.
He says, Baleba isn't superhuman. There's a Pacific Ocean wide space in a double pivot world where. By the way, today he played crap and he got subbed. Baleba, apparently. Brighton fans, they got beat 2-0 by Everton. He played crap and he got subbed today, apparently. But some people are saying because he wants to get the United move and his head is turned and all of that stuff. But yeah, big up. Big up. I just put it in the chat with Bruno getting Amarim sacked. I genuinely do think the way Bruno was going on today, it was a disgrace. He's not a fucking captain of Manchester United. He was a disgrace. And if anybody's tried to come up here and defend him, then I just find that I'm just flabbergasted. I'm really flabbergasted. What he was doing on the football pitch, asking the referee should apologize to him, it's laughable. He's making mockery of this football club. As a captain of Manchester United, he's spitting on the faces of all those great Manchester United captains. And people, we've not even got 250 likes yet on the video. We've been live for an hour. I don't know what's going on. There's sort of 540 something of you in here. Smash a like on the video because it costs you absolutely nothing. It helps us against the shadow ban. Free Palestine, Lebanon, Sudan, Congo, Haiti. Free the people, free the land, free everybody from the oppression and imperialism and colonization. Love and light, people. Please smash the like. But let's talk about the first 10 minutes. I go to Bombaye. Bombaye, with the start of the game, the first 10 minutes we looked good. We created a couple of chances. He has said, though, today, Bayern Dia was the only player.
Let me stop you right there, brother. I actually missed the first 12 minutes and got the rest of the bullshit. So maybe ask someone else.
Okay, I'll go to Sean. I'll say Bayern Dia was the only Manchester United player to create a big chance against Fulham today. Why can't we create anything, Sean? I thought we were back.
Yeah, I mean, I think, a lot of people like arguing with their shadows. So you get the kind of question you're asking me that you thought we were back. I don't know whoever said that.
Yeah, I thought we were back. I thought everybody was getting giddy and excited that we're back.
Right.
How we create chances. How come Cunha and Mbeumo look like strangers, like guys who never played football today?
That's what I'm saying. These are the ghosts that people are arguing with, right? I think people take pleasure in United being in dire straits. So yeah, I can appreciate like the glee at which
we don't have the expectations as much because we don't fall for the propaganda like some of you do. That's the
sure. So I think Amorim, in my opinion, made the wrong choices today. I think the lack of confidence that we're seeing in the team comes from the top down. It's not clear what direction I think the squad is going in. Like I said before, starting Casemiro today, I think sends the wrong message. He's not your long-term plan. So what are you doing with him in the squad right now? Same thing goes for Mason Mount. Mason Mount is not the solution to our attacking problems. He's a band-aid that you put on in a tough game against a big club. Not the way you go into an away game against Fulham when you're looking to put the screws on them. So I put it down to the manager. I think the manager is making mistakes in his selections, in his approach to the game.
What about the first 10 minutes, Sean? What about the first 10 minutes? Did you enjoy how we played in the first 10, 12 minutes?
First 10 minutes don't tell me anything, right? Because it's a 90-minute game. And like I said, it should be expected. It's normal,
We're trying to be
right?
balanced by now. We're trying to be balanced by now.
No, it's normal for
positives. We don't want to attack the negative.
It should be expected that Fulham would have moments of dominance at home, right? They're a Premier League side. They're a tough side to play against, and a tough side for us to play against specifically. So it shouldn't be a surprise to anyone that Fulham would have moments where they're on top. what you would expect from the United team is for the captain, for example, and for the senior players to be able to see it through, right? See it through. If they have the ball, okay, you know that this happens every now and then. They get their fans behind them, but you're supposed to be able to ride that storm. And when you get lucky, right, what Nigerians call a wolf, when you get a free shot, a free hit, and you get a free penalty, score, right? Don't roof the ball to the ceiling. And if you're the manager watching all that happen, right, react. Don't wait till it's too late to make the subs. So I think all round, Amorim said something that I thought was insightful, right? He said after the goal, we were playing as if we were trying to preserve the lead as opposed to focusing on the possession, right? So he's really trying to, I guess, like instill some principles in the players. But the message is just not passing through because we scored and we went into survival mode, and that came back to bite us in the ass. But I think the manager he himself has to be braver in the choices that he's making. Because I think regardless of whatever is going on with Ineos or in the transfer markets, this is not a relegation side. We are 16th, and every single game that we drop points, every single weekend that passes with us not picking up points or us dropping points, our 16th or bottom half place cements or solidifies. So the idea that we need to sign 7 players to not be in relegation is to me ridiculous, right? So Amorim doesn't need anything else. Even if the transfer window closes the way the squad is right now, it still is no excuse, no license for us to end up 16th. So that's why for me, I don't really want to have the Ineos or whatever conversation, because with what Amorim has with him, we shouldn't be in the position that we're in. And the difficulty is that the Burnley game, I think, is a lose-lose because we can't learn anything from the game against Burnley, even if we win, right? Because it's just Burnley. So
It don't matter if it's early or not. We need points.
Yeah, no, we need points. We do need points. We do need points, right? But this is a manager who apparently hasn't won 2 consecutive games the entire time he's been here.
By the way, don't be disrespecting Grimsby. We're playing Grimsby on Wednesday in the League Cup.
Yeah. I don't think I'm going to watch that game. But yeah, Amorim, I think, has a lot to prove. I think he has a lot to prove. I think he clearly looks like he looks distraught, right? I don't like the fact that in games, like during the game, he can't bear to watch. So we have a corner kick against us, and he can't even watch. He can't watch. He can't bear to look at what is going on. I don't like the message that sends. But yeah, I'm concerned. Honestly, I don't have the power.
I don't mean to defend Amorim, but he did tell the football club he needed a goalkeeper and he needed a defender. He told this to the club. He also
my problem with that is that
let me finish. He also said, even in the presser after the game, I don't know, was it against Leeds? He said we look weak in midfield and we need a midfield players. He did say that. So,
if my problem with that is Amorim telling me that he needs a midfielder unless we're going to be relegated. Like what the hell? Is he telling me that he needs a new keeper unless we're going to be relegated? Because we are 16th. That's my problem, right? I want us to. I'm perfectly willing to accept, United being part of a rebuild, and to me that means beating Fulham away. It means ending up somewhere around 6th or 7th. It means more consistency in the style of play. It doesn't mean 16th or 17th. Like that. That's what I'm having a hard time reconciling when you guys are telling me that he hasn't been backed. Like I don't get why we need to be in.
I just want to come in. I need Jarvis to join us. I just want to get his take, and I'll come back to you, Bumbaye. Big up Jarvis. Jarvis, how are you doing? Hope you're well.
I'm good. I'm well.
I hope it's still sunny in lovely Norway, northern Norway. I hope it's still sunny. I hope it's still bright. Big up to you. Yes. Hope the family is good. We watched a shit show today. We got absolutely bullied and outnumbered after the first 10 minutes. I actually can't blame people like in Burma on that because a proper football club creates chances. We create more chances. We don't just play for 10 minutes. Amorim has spoken about he needed a goalkeeper. He has spoken about he needed a midfielder. He said that explicitly, that we needed legs. Everybody and their nan could see that. How much of the today was the system? Because everybody's screaming it's a system, or how much of it it's actually the player profiles that don't fit into the system. Big up to you.
Yeah, big up to the panel, big up everybody watching Therapy Army and all of you guys. Yeah, it was a dreadful game. I think we were outfought. I think Lukic and Sander Berge were dominating us in midfield, especially Sander Berge. I think he's a brilliant player, and I think we struggle a little bit. This is what we get. The board didn't back Amorim properly. We play game number 2 of the Premier League season without a striker who's not fit, who's not ready. It affects us when Chesko came onto the pitch. We dropped down in intensity in our press play, and Chesko couldn't follow Sander Berge. So Fulham could play out like prime Barcelona or prime Real Madrid. They could hold on to the ball, and our press play was ineffective. And it created a big stretch in the team and a big gap in the central area, as we know. And when the centre backs pushed up to fill that gap, it created a gap in behind for Fulham to run into, because Sander Berge got on the ball, played an easy 1-2, and then played it in behind for them to run into. Iwobi thrives under conditions like this. Same with Robinson, who came on. He kept crossing and crossing and crossing, and Fulham were filling on with people into the box. So in a way, I think we should sit here now and be happy that we didn't lose the game, because that was actually the outcome after the second half, I would say. We were toothless, and Fulham were the better team. They played themselves into the game and controlled the game. And this is just the state we are in. But as I was trying to say,
my instant match reaction, Jarvis, was that Fulham were robbed.
In a way, they could have won it, and even. We played without a goalkeeper for 90 minutes, and that's a problem.
I don't know if you saw this, but Iwobi said, we knew that we'd be able to get behind the 2 midfields and the centre-backs would jump. We exploited that today.
Iwobi, yeah.
We are predictable. That's what he said. Of course, everybody. But
I have a
do
question
that.
for
They also
Jarvis.
did that from the other guy. And they proper overloaded. So, is it my last bit of the question is it the player profiles or is it the system?
Well, I asked that question on Jarvis's Corner last Monday, and we had a almost 3-hour debate about that topic. And I'm not sure. I feel a lot of these players don't suit what Amorim wants to do, and I see weaknesses in the tactics from Amorim. It's hard. It's very hard to say. Sometimes I feel it's the manager. Sometimes I feel it's the players. But I tend to. I think it's the players. I think it's the players, actually, because we saw Amorim do this on the Sporting and actually thrived and did well. But Premier League is a different beast, and that's the problem. So I'm not sure how this system will work in the Premier League. And mostly, I think it comes down to a lot of physicality. We could see in midfield, Sander Berge and Lukic. The bullying Bruno at times, and
Casemiro. Casemiro started diving about.
Jarvis, I think we can put it.
Luwadi, order. Please write your question down. I want to go to Bombaye. I don't want to bypass him because he couldn't answer my question. So write down your question, and then we'll get back to you. Bombaye, go ahead.
I think well, 2 things. For Jarvis, when we have the possession, why are we not able to progress the ball through the phases of the pitch? And why are our strikers all looking like Højlund? Why are you completely nullified? We have our better games against the bigger teams. Maybe they play in a way that allows us to do what we want. But we're very easy to play against. Everybody's feeding on shit. Nobody's playing well in this team. It's not just Bruno. Who's playing well? The defenders are playing well. They're working overtime. Why is this team not producing any opportunities at all? At all. There's nothing up top. Everybody looks like Højlund to me. And for you, Nuruddin, is PSR a real thing? I ask myself. Yeah, it's a real thing. We have Newcastle fans screaming that our owners have got billions and they can't spend them. It's a real thing. We paid over 200 million for 3 players. We're struggling to sell legacy players. And it's not the fault of anybody. It is a serious task when you are taking 20 million for a 74 million pound player. And I agree with you. Instead of 350 that I thought it was, you said it's 200. Man, let's say it's 150. We might scoff at 150 as Manchester United because we can throw that, and that's chicken feed to us. Most teams on earth, that's a top end wage for a top end player. In Italy, in Germany, for most teams. It's not easy to get rid of those players. When you say it's either 7 players or he's not been backed, I have to sit back and ask myself, like, what does that cost? If these 3 were 200 million and we're still another 4 short, and the kind of players we're looking at, we're being quoted 80, 90, 100 million for these type of midfielders, and we need a goalkeeper. You're looking to do a record transfer window at a time where PSR is a serious thing, and we have got players on the books that is a monumental task to get rid of them. That is a conundrum, bro. Where I honestly, logically looking at it,
let me answer your
you know
point,
what?
Babaye.
I will let you answer. Let me just finish what I'm saying.
I want to correct you. Just on the PSR, Manchester United are nowhere near their PSR, by the way. Just letting you know. Manchester United couldn't spend another 150 million if they wanted to. And by the way, Babaye, the thing I'll say is, when you finish 15th, you have to take drastic actions to get back into contention for European places. You
drastic
have to
actions
do some, yes,
are bound
because let me finish. Let me finish.
Financial abilities. You've got 150 million left to spend.
No.
Spend it on 4 players for me.
Listen, Manchester United need to do, because it was who cost us to finish 15th. Did Amorim get himself into this football club? Did Amorim not back himself in January? Manchester United said in the summer. I'm sorry. Did Amorim do this all by himself? Amorim doesn't even sign the players. The players are signed by Wilcox and Omar Barada. And we're finding out now through these lackeys in the media, Jim is always involved. Jim and Joe Glazer are on the phone as well. So that's the 4 people that are involved in signing players. Manchester United finished 15th. Let me finish. Manchester United finished 15th because of the decisions these people have made. Manchester United, you can't be half pregnant. You can't have half backed. You can't have half rebuild. You either rebuild whatever the fucking cost, or you don't rebuild. You don't back a manager, or you can't back half Millie Mouse halfway back a manager that you helped to bring to this club that took us to 15th.
No. Manager came in and he came 15th. He doesn't pick Bruno. The Glazers and Ineos and Omar Barada and Jason Wilcox. They don't pick Bruno. They don't pick Delo that everybody keeps getting on about. He picks the team. He decides to play this formation.
I just got to say about Bruno. They had the opportunity to let Bruno go, and the club kept him. It wasn't
for who?
It wasn't an
for
Amorim.
Who? For who? For Amorim?
No. It wasn't an Amorim decision. The club loved Bruno. Bruno is the face of Manchester United, Bombay. I just want to remind you.
Look,
maybe you've not been to Old Trafford lately, but
I'll be
everywhere. He's the face of this football club. Can I be
perfectly frank with you here? I think going into the abyss on a lot of erroneous arguments that you're throwing at me.
You have not talked. You asked the question. You're saying to me the club don't keep Bruno. The club kept Bruno. Al Nassr, whatever they called, wanted him and willing to pay.
He said the club doesn't select Bruno to start every game.
No, but
the club making Bruno start. It's not the club who kept Bruno after half time today.
Are we going to have an argument? Jarvis, did Manchester United keep Bruno, yes or no, as a football club?
No, hang on. Before you go to Jarvis,
am I going mad here?
Just listen.
Am I going mad here?
Hang on a minute.
You might be now because you're having a different conversation.
Look, listen. Look, listen to me. Forget going to Jarvis and Lesso for a minute. Forget that. Don't go to them. You're telling me what you're saying now effectively is this is just a body that is absolved and hides and has no responsibility because of the presence of an ownership.
Makes zero sense.
If
Makes no
that,
sense at all.
let me finish before you
the
jump
club-
in. Hang on a
the
minute. Just hold your horses there.
He dictated.
Hold
He
your
was
horses, man. Just
negotiating
1
with a
second.
Saudi club for
No,
3 weeks,
you know the
and
problem
he
is.
said we're going to
You know the
make a
problem is.
decision. I
You know
don't
the
know
problem
what
is.
you guys are talking about.
You keep
Mate, it should never
barracking,
be up to
and
the
you
coach.
said on the last
It should be
show
up to
that
the
this is a
fucking
new
football
type
club,
of show.
whether you
It's
keep
a
a
new
player.
season, Nuruddin.
Okay,
Yeah, do you
It's
remember
a
remember
new
that?
that.
season.
This is a new
What
season
are we
where I'm not going
waffling
to
about?
interrupt my guests, and this is all you're doing. Why?
I'm sick of the waffle. The
Why?
waffle is unbelievable. Bruno Fernandes was making up his mind
Cook,
when his
Nerd.
agent was
Cook.
in Saudi Arabia for 3 fucking weeks. And then he made the decision and he said,
What you
Bruno's
just said?
You're making no sense, Nuruddin. You're having a
words.
different conversation
Shouting.
entirely.
Bruno's words.
You're just shouting.
Bruno's
You're just
words.
shouting.
Shouting.
Like
Bruno's
this
words.
sounds like
This is no longer
dyslexia.
a show.
Not any
This is no
you're just
longer.
making noise.
This is now
Bruno
just the
Fernandes'
WWF Royal
statement.
Rumble.
Bro, I just want to remind you, Bruno Fernandes' statement. Bruno
It has no
Fernandes'
bearing on the
was,
conversation,
the
Nuruddin.
club
At all.
don't need the
Stop
money.
the rabbit hole
The
you're
That's
going.
club don't need
It
the money.
He's
The
sold.
club don't need
It
the
has no
money.
bearing on the
The club don't
conversation.
need to sell me.
Get
The
him gone.
club
Don't take
need
out
the
don't take
money.
out your
The
anger
club
on
don't need the only
on the
sell me.
panel.
That is
Get him
what
gone.
the guy said. That's what he said. Am I wrong?
Go to therapy, drink some coke, right? This is not the avenue to let out like
I think you need to drink
unreserved,
some Coke, Sean.
like,
World class Bruno Fernandes.
misdirected.
World class Bruno
Honestly,
Fernandes.
this is silly.
No,
Look,
but
world class.
Ben, like
Any-
we should be
any
able to,
manager,
like Ben,
How,
we should be
how
able
are
to
you
have.
supposed
In the
to
summertime, can I ask you a
assess
question? Can I
the
ask you a question,
performance?
Mumbai? Can I ask you a question? In the summertime, did you keep an eye on what the news that was coming out of Manchester United? Yes or no?
I'm going to continue my point, Nuruddin.
Yeah, just go
no,
ahead.
That's
Right,
the
I'm going to
question.
continue my point.
Bruno Fernandes made a statement and said, the
Yep.
club don't need to sell me. They don't need the money.
Yes,
I wanna
and the
continue
bicycle
my
has 2
point.
wheels. Let's also bring something irrelevant.
I want to
Like
let me just
today is Sunday. Sure.
Quick question, Nuruddin. Quick question.
By
Quick
the
question,
logic
Nuruddin.
by the logic that you're saying here, how is anybody supposed to, in any way, assess the performance of a man charged to manage the team?
Don't you get it, Boomer? Relegation. That's what we're looking for, right?
It's
We have to burn
ridiculous.
everything down.
It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. Ultimately,
Quick question about that subject, right? Okay, we can agree that the club decided not to sell Bruno and take that as a statement of fact to put it on the side. My question is the club forcing Amorim to play Bruno?
Yes.
Luani, yes, they have Amorim's children hostage,
Propaganda.
right?
what's the point of even doing the show anymore, guys? What's the point?
It could be
Bruno,
both.
What's the point in
since the day
ever
that
changing
he got
minds
here,
again?
Bruno Fernandes, since the
What's the
day that
point?
the only manager, the only coach that ever dropped Bruno Fernandes was the 2 interim game of Michael Carrick's reign.
Facts.
He was the only person who actually dropped Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes, after every coach, whether it's Ranieri, whether it's Oli, whether it's Ten Hag, whether it's Amorim, plays every game.
Yep.
The only guy who was a 2-game interim before Ranieri came in was Michael Carrick, and Michael Carrick was the only guy to drop him. And he only had 2 games interim.
And we look different team, bro.
You know the worst
By
part.
the way,
Everybody on this panel has agreed that Bruno was shit today. Somehow we decided to make the
For a
argument.
long time, Sean.
No, like everybody has agreed today that Bruno played poorly. Everybody has agreed that Amorim. Everybody has agreed that Amorim made mistakes and should have taken him off. But unfortunately, right, that's not enough. We want us. It's a ritual. We want us to just come on the show, Nuruddin. That's what you want.
No, it's not
right? You want us to come on the show and be like, them Ineos, them Bruno, them Glazers, one by one, right? That's all we should be saying.
Made at this football club. Every decision that's made by the football club has the consequences.
Yes. Tell me how all roads lead back to the Glazers.
The decisions have consequences. You all got bought up by PR. Like 2 days ago, you were telling me we're going to win 3-0, 3 this, we're going to win 2-0 this. And today,
I feel your pain, Nuruddin. I feel the pain. I feel it too.
You all got showing up, and Fulham got robbed, and you've got no answers. So now you're going to try to blame me for the performance of this.
Nobody's blaming you. You're the one who wants to blame. You're the one who wants to blame your fellow fans.
There. Manchester
No,
United
then.
want to sell me. They don't need the money.
So how
Guys,
do you
I want to
assess-
bring something up. I want to bring something up really quick, right?
Maybe we can have a conversation, Luani.
I want to bring something up really quick. So we can all have like hypothetical. Maybe Amorim told the board, hey, if you sell this guy, I don't have any other playmaker. So they forced to keep him to keep Amorim happy. The reason I'm suggesting that as an eventuality is because Amorim has always been the one that came out and defended Bruno since starting from the final that we lost. He's been defending him since. Maybe he's the one that want to keep him here. Now, what I want to bring to your attention is today we have Bruno. He touched the ball 73 times. Iwobi on the other side touched the ball 62 times, right? As midfielders, we can say it's pretty close, right? Iwobi was playing on the left side of a midfield 3. And if you look at his heat map, he's playing, majority of his touches were in our last third. And yes, the corridor in which he was operating the most is that lateral corridor in which he can feed his fullback, he can feed his strikers, and he can combine with his midfielders. But when you look at Bruno's heat map, it's actually in our own starting third. So my question is, why is our midfielder playmaker heat map is in our own half with 72 touch, and Iwobi, the other playmaker, is in our half with 62 touch?
Because
why? It's a system
He's got
issue.
Sanderberg and that Luka guy next to him, and they're doing all of that work. And the free guy in midfield was Iwobi to play make for them and to put balls into the box. And by the way, I just want to go back to this quote here. Bruno Fernandes made the call himself. That is you. This is the madness of this. Bruno Fernandes decided if he was going to leave or stay, leave it to himself to go on his agent to go to Saudi Arabia to negotiate a deal, and then he dictates himself. That shows you where we are as a football club. Am I lying, Jarvis?
No, it's true. That's the quote at least.
It does not matter if he made the call himself. You telling me that Bruno is hierarchically above the manager? It doesn't matter because you are a manager. You giving a team. If the player have to decide if he goes or leave, if he play or he doesn't play, what does he say about you as a manager?
What are you talking about? A player is negotiating with another club in another league, and he's dictating whether he should stay or go when we can get 100 million for him at the age of 30. How does not that work, Luani? Where does the club make a decision? What happened to the club?
I don't care what the club says. You can sit on the bench. You can sit on the bench.
But they never sit on the bench. They never. You're not paying.
Yeah, so that's an Amorim problem. That's Amorim problem. If you can sit on the bench, that's Amorim.
It's not just Amorim. It was Ten Hag as well. Do you remember Ten Hag? Ten Hag would take him out of the midfield and put him on the left and then put him on the right. There's something in the way Bruno.
Luani, in other words, Bruno is actually the manager.
Do not.
Bro, this is just like
I'm sorry, Sean. Bro. You know what, Sean? You are such a waffler. You even say it yourself. About 30 minutes ago, you said Bruno should be subbed. You said, why is it Bruno
Yes, because I have more than 2 cells in my brain. And I'm able to hold
things like... Yes. Why do you not think... Why do you think...
I love you guys. You guys are boxed off. You guys are boxed off. So Amorim can...
Stop taking that. Don't take out your pain on me. I feel the pain. I apologize on behalf of Amorim for today. It's really painful, I know.
He plays what he wants.
Amorim
can decide whether to leave or stay.
It's in his contract.
That is
Amorim can freeze out Garnacho, one of our biggest sellers. He can freeze out Rashford, right? Our homeboy, right?
That's on his contract.
But he cannot freeze out Bruno. Okay.
Because you know why? Ten Hag couldn't do it, and Ollie didn't do it. And then I just explained to you,
It's a conspiracy. We're agreeing with you.
Michael Carrick was the only guy. Michael Carrick is the only guy in the club's history since Bruno's been here that managed to drop him. And if you,
so how can Carrick do that? Carrick was an interim when he did that.
Yeah,
how
for 2 games.
Do that as an interim?
Bruno is part of the Illuminati.
He dropped him and he subbed him for 1 game. He subbed him for 1 game and then he dropped him for the next. But
can I ask you this question, Dino? Do you know everything that we're saying here?
Circles.
Everything that we're saying here, the problem with that is this: how it affects the debate going forward. You see, if we're effective, what you're effectively saying, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that this manager has not signed the players.
No,
they have signed the players. Okay, so he doesn't sign the players. Doesn't have any say in that.
No,
let me just go through.
No, because I'm going to try to prove to you. If you look at, do you know every time?
You're the one taking us in the circle.
I don't want you.
You're the one taking us in the circle.
Let me finish the point. Every time the club signs a player, it's usually a player, the manager, and the player in the photo. These days, it's Jason Wilcox and the player next to them.
Okay, that's the proof. All right, all right. That's fine.
What it is. That's what it is.
So the manager doesn't sign the players. If the manager doesn't have a say so who plays, and Bruno plays when he wants, and he has in his contract he can never be dropped.
But it's not just Amorim, though. It's not just Amorim. It's not just
okay. Just follow me, please. I'm going somewhere with this because this is important. And players have got the power to play when they want. Yeah. How is it ever possible for us as fans to assess any manager that will ever manage this club under the conditions that you believe exist at this club? Ultimately, if Amorim continues now to no results and offer nothing in terms of football, then what's the point in having a show and even alluding anything in the direction of a manager that has zero control?
Well, let me explain.
Because his responsibility is null and void, and he can hide behind the fact.
No, it's not. Let me explain to you. Let me explain to you.
Okay.
The manager, the coach.
I want you to tell me what he's responsible for.
By the way, he's not a manager. He's the first team coach. If you look at the title of Amorim, this is the first time in Manchester United history we have ever employed a first team coach, not a manager. So he's not a manager. For the first time in the history of this football club, 150 odd years.
What is he responsible for? Stop waffling.
Let me finish. But what he does, Mumbai, what he does is that he meets with the transfer committee. Right. He is in a committee. He says, I need this player profile. He doesn't directly go, get me that guy. He puts forward what he needs. The club then and the recruitment team go away and buy that player. He's not stood next to the player.
In terms of outcomes on the pitch, what is he responsible for?
It is. The Bruno Fernandes thing is not just on Amorim. I'm not blaming it on him because Ollie was the same. Ten Hag was exactly the same.
Look, I'm not interested in that.
Because
what I'm trying
he's the
to
face of the football club. People who are the face of the football club never get dropped.
Brother, my brother. It's important.
Did you know that?
No, you did not answer the question.
Did you know that he is the first team coach in the history of Manchester United Football Club? Yes or no? Did you know that he's not a manager?
Yes, I know that. Because I know that, Habibi, because since the days of Mourinho, yes, I do. Since the days of Jose, he called himself a coach. He says there's no more managers now in football. They're coaches. They coach the first team, and they have to work. They have to work. All it is. Nuruddin, I understand that.
Ten Hag was the manager. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was the manager.
We're just moving
Mourinho
with the
was
time.
the manager.
Let me talk about the committee. Jurgen Klopp. There's a famous story with Jurgen Klopp, and this is a while back now. Jurgen Klopp asked for a profile, and he wanted to get a German guy, Julian Brandt.
Yeah.
The committee he has to liaise with said, no, this is the guy that we need to buy. He didn't want Salah.
Yes,
they gave him Salah. Okay, so what we're talking about here...
Do you know what happened at Liverpool? Do you know what happened at Liverpool? The more success he had, the more power he had, and then the club owners got rid of the football structure and kept Klopp. And then Klopp didn't win anymore. Then they said to Klopp, you've got to go. Then they bring back the football structure.
No,
Then
Rick,
now they start
no,
winning trophies.
there was a structure, but the guys that did the great work left and were replaced.
Yes, because the power went
Yes.
to Jurgen Klopp. Because he won things, and the
You will
power
always
struggle.
have
Always
a
went to the
committee
coach.
when it
That's the
comes
fact.
to
You
signing
don't miss it
players.
out.
And no, I know that. You will always have a committee at any club now, because every manager will tell you it's not like before. We have a staff, a big staff. I don't have time to
Manchester
go
United is the
to the
first time
games
ever
and
in the
watch this.
history of the football club.
Nuruddin,
No,
we're moving with the times, though.
Yes,
Every club is like this. So
I'll
what
be
you're
honest with you.
the thing that's important here is, if I'm telling you I am going to look, my focus is on the manager this year, on the way that he deploys the players
I don't think he's
to ascertain whether he is a viable person to continue in this job or not. If I can't do that, what do we talk about?
Grab the
If you're
pitchfork,
saying to me
Bumaye.
he doesn't make any decisions, if you're saying to me we have players
No,
that
I
they
think he
play
makes
when they want to
decisions.
play.
Listen,
So
his in-game management
this
was
is the
poor.
question. This is your
His
key
in-game
question. Have you
management
listened to
was
me? Listen to me.
poor.
This is what I want you to answer. What is he responsible for, and
Well,
how can we attribute our performances?
He's responsible for picking the team. He's responsible for the substitutions. He's responsible for the in-game management. That's what
deploying
he's responsible
the
for.
formation and the system. He has
all of those
control
things.
of those.
All of those things. But he's also
okay.
responsible when he's told the board and the owners he needed a goalkeeper, he needs a midfield player, and I'm sure he talked about a defender.
So
I'm sure
if
we will
I'm
with a
here
defender
today
in the summer.
and with Luani and Sean, and we're discussing that we are looking at the system and we are saying that is essentially the problem, the way that he deploys the team. There could be a divergence of opinions about the quality.
Bruno
okay, I understand that. I understand that. But like Susie was saying earlier, and big up Craig Wargby, by the way, she said Bruno doesn't pick himself. I can tell you, as you know, I'm me. Listen, brother. I love Bruno. Yeah, I'm a big Bruno fan. But when you play him in that position, we can all see he's struggling. We can all see that, can't we? People want Kobe there. I hope we get to see that. I would love to see that. I think it's going to be a complete car crash. But I would like to see that. But what I'm saying to you is, this manager, for me, my focus is directly on him, because you are picking the team. You are making the substitutions. You decided you have a say in who comes to this club. You wanted Cunha. You want Sesko. You want Mbeumo. I've asked you earlier the question, why did you buy Mbeumo? There's no essential need for this player in my eyes. So he wants him, and we paid a large part of our transfer.
Not just him, but the whole transfer committee said that they wanted a number 10 who scored 20 goals, because we don't score goals.
Do you not think every week we're sat here saying who is going to start next to that number 6? That is the key. That's our thing. But instead we buy him.
You see, I'm trying to.
This is where Amorim has to start taking bullets, brother.
Let me just say something, right, to conclude this.
I don't blame Amorim, because Amorim didn't bring himself.
I just want
Bruno
to make
Fernandes doesn't play himself. The club have made him the face of the football club, and the club have given him so much power that he can never be subbed in his life. That is the fact.
So when you say things like that,
just want to conclude something, right? On this subject, let me just say something quick. Let's make sure that we do not confuse manager favoritism and Billy to board and competence. There's a difference. The board have its own issue. It's a battle we can fight. Separate from, if we can also still recognize that Amorim has favorites, and that is the issue we have right now. Bruno starting is not a function of the board keeping him. It's two separate issues.
Jesus, you're mute, bro.
Wow. We keep talking past each other, right?
Yeah.
And I think we should be able to live in a world where, shocker, two things are true at the same time. Ineos, the management, the leadership, the Glazers, whatever, they're terrible. They need to go. They've made a lot of mistakes. At the same time, it's also true that Amorim can do better with what he has.
100%.
It shouldn't be that much of an argument,
That's it, man.
Yep.
have to
100%.
be able to assess the performances of the team and the manager at the helm. If you can't do that, you will never be able to make a case for scrutinizing the performance. You will never be able to accurately judge any manager. And I ask you, finally, why ever change a manager if they are obsolete? What's the point? So this can never be the case at any club.
No. Listen, I'm not. Listen, what I'm saying to you. The idea that Bruno's playing because of Amorim, I'm trying to dispel that because Bruno played because of Ten Hag. When many of you saw Bruno being woeful on the Oli, on the Ten Hag, and on the Amorim, he still plays. I'm trying to get you to understand he is become Manchester United are built on PR and propaganda. Bruno Fernandes is the face of Manchester United. That's why he's the XG master, XG. And the coach, if you love Bruno so much, why are you taking him away from the XG closeness to where the XG used to happen? He's not getting XG from where he's playing. Yeah. And to answer your question from before on, Luani, because majority, the Bruno, why he was in his own half today, because majority of us said in the last game that he was vacating the midfield and that space was wide open. So I'll go to Jarvis.
Okay, why don't you put Bruno in the 10 and put your boy Kobe Manu in then? That solves every problem.
Because he's shit in the 10. He's been shit for so many games in that 10, man.
Why are you playing him there? Well. If you have to play him, play him in the 10.
No, Ben. No, Ben.
Man.
This is. You know why Bruno is not playing in the 10? You know why he's not playing? Because this is a coach. This is a coach that fundamentally doesn't understand the strength of the weakness of his players and the way he can adapt them to his system. That's all. He's the coach. He doesn't know. If you bring Baleba now, he's going to go play Baleba in the 10. The guy bring on Harry Maguire and have him play in striker position.
By the way, that gimmick needs to fucking stop.
Nuruddin, let's put Bruno aside, bro. This Maguire thing, yeah? That's Amorim, isn't it, bro?
It's Amorim, yeah.
It's Amorim, yeah. So okay.
Amorim bringing Diego Dalot today. What did Diego Dalot offer in the game today? Diego Dalot was one of the worst players days in the team.
What did you used to tell me about Mourinho and Fellaini? He used to kill me.
Yes.
This is your plan B. We will never change the way we play. It stays the same. The subs are his. And Maguire, get the big man on.
It's ridiculous.
So this is what I'm talking about. Yeah, I'm homing in, focused, direct, bulletproof on the manager because I agree with Sean. Okay, you might not get 7 players, but God damn it, man. We've got a half-decent side there. You should be getting some results against the shitter teams and putting in some performances.
I genuinely
cannot keep seeing this for the next 5-6 games.
I 100%. I really think that because of the club propaganda and the club PR, you overrate these players. And I'll go to Jarvis. Jarvis, is there a bit of the fan base that overrates these players? Because they've shown us on different systems, on the different managers, that they can't cope with modern football. They don't
it's too much to ask to not come 16th.
They don't have the
16th is too much to ask. That's the overrating.
Yeah, come on, man.
No, we're talking about a long season. We're not just talking about where we are right now. It's 2 games, Sean. Come on. Even we know that. It's 2 games.
Well, how many Fulham players get into the United team?
Listen up, guys. When it comes to Bruno, I just want to make one thing clear. What Amorim is doing right now, it's called system compromise.
Yes.
It's a system compromise because Amorim right now is bending the system for one player. And this is Amorim's hill to die on.
What makes you say that?
It's a system compromise. His system is not working. Bruno can't do the role as the roaming 8 or whatever Amorim is trying to do with this double pivot. And he don't have the defensive capabilities. He doesn't have the composure, the press resistiveness, everything that needed to be a defensive midfielder. He doesn't have the physicality, and he doesn't know how to read the game. And he's instinctively want to win the ball, intercept it, and put a long pass in behind for people to run into. He want to score goals and he want to make assists. This is Bruno. We know this. But for Amorim to play him, it's a system compromise.
Jarvis,
and that's Amorim's responsibility, and he needs to figure this out. Ten Hag did the same with Bruno and Rashford. Ole did the same. He played the McFred. We all talked about the McFred all the time. So a lot of managers do this. But in a way, okay, it's a system compromise. But what other alternatives do Amorim have? We don't see these guys in training every day. I'm not 100% sure what Amorim is trying to do all the time, but I have a gist of what his system and plan is. But for this rebuild to happen, the transfer window is just bringing in the pieces. This is what we are doing. We have brought in pieces, but it's Amorim's job to put these pieces together and make it something functional. And this is where we need to give Amorim time. The rebuild isn't done. It isn't over just because we have had the transfer window. We have signed 3 players and we have loaned out Rashford and Collier. It's and this, I was trying to tell you this when we had Ten Hag, and even under Ole, I wanted to back the manager. I wanted to give him more time because it takes a lot of time. We all know how much we struggle to get the bump squad, Anthony, Sancho, Garnacho, Rashford, all of these, they are almost impossible to sell. So we have the brake is on. It's fully on. So we can't move, and this is Manchester United. And it's not on Amorim. It's not Amorim's fault that we are in that state. It's the Glazers. The Glazers came in. They have put us in this place. And Ineos are trying to fix it, but it doesn't look good. And they're hand in hand with the Glazers. So it's just half-ass everything. And we know this. We all said after the Europa League final, we want 7 to 10 players. Everybody said 7 to 10 players. Now we have 3. And everybody's starting shouting Amorim out.
No,
What are we? Are we
Jarvis,
delusional? Amorim is no magician. He's a
have
young manager. He's
to.
inexperienced. He's learning on the job. We could clearly see today his in-game management isn't up to the level needed for the Premier League. But he will learn. I hope he will learn. And if he doesn't learn, if he keeps doing this system compromise, let's say Christmas, we sit 15th, okay, then we can start talking. But not after game 2. So
okay. Jarvis,
we got to give him time. That's just my thoughts on it.
Jarvis, on that quick, right? You say it's a system compromise. I think
Yeah.
it's a self-sabotage. The reason I'm saying it's a self-sabotage, you can system compromise, but why are you performance compromising? If the guy is not performing, it doesn't matter if he's in the system, if you're trying to feed him in the system or not. If he's not performing, just take him off. That's one of the easiest decisions to make as a manager. And why are we seeing Bruno finish 90 minutes of football every single day? That's Amorim. I'm sorry to go this way. Amorim, for me, he's a weak man manager. He's a weak man. What does he want? He want to bring a cake to Bruno on his birthday too? What's more important for you as a manager? Is your job important to you, or is the result important to you?
You have to earn. You have to show something to earn some time. Last season was unprecedented. Nobody said anything. Yeah, you cannot have another free fall like this and say time. Time is earned, man.
Can I ask you a question before I'm not gonna interrupt you, I promise you. Yeah. Did Amorim bring himself to this football club?
Amorim decided to come, bro.
He's never managed in the Premier League.
Okay.
He is that of age. He vacates the midfield. His system, the guy that told the board got sacked. The guy that said, do not get that guy, do not sack Ten Hag, regardless of what we felt as fans.
Yeah.
The guy that said, maybe try Thomas Frank, maybe try other coaches. The guy that said that got the sack. He said the players we have are not compatible with the style of play that Ruben Amorim wants to play. That guy got the sack.
Yeah. Okay. Now, did somebody put a gun to his head and say, you're coming?
No.
Okay.
But he was given an offer, you either come now or never.
Okay,
and he
so
wanted
don't
to come in after the season.
Okay, life happens, Jarvis.
Yeah, well,
life happens. So he came in last season. We didn't open our mouths. We shut up. We put up. We nearly got relegated. We won nothing. The worst football in the history of Man United. No problem. Here's the new season. We're struggling with goals. What more do you want? Like, what more do you want? Sesko, everybody's been banging on for 2 years about Sesko. Nearer 3 years. And Buemo, Cunha, two of the
I
best
said do not
performers.
get Sesko this time though. I said that. I said
Yeah.
2 years ago, Sesko. I said I think he's regressed. I don't think he's improved. And it's gone so much for him in Germany that he actually played as a wide guy and more of a number 10. And they had somebody else playing who was more experienced than him playing as a striker.
Okay,
I'm
but
just let it be known.
That's fine. Still, he's one of the hot prospects around. Newcastle wanted him. Few clubs wanted him. We paid, we got him. You got Cunha, one of the best players last season. And Buemo, you've got goals. Bruno can score goals. Diallo can score goals. Mount can score goals. Xerxes can score goals. There's goals there. Now, if you are deploying a team, forget goals. You don't even get the opportunity to try to score a goal. There's nothing. What is that? We've spent the first 2 weeks, nobody's talking about Ruben Amorim out, but if you do a show, it's called the post-match analysis. That involves analyzing the performance of the team, and either you're saying it's nothing to do with the manager, it's the players, or you want to go back to the Glazers and the Ineos thing and keep that in mind. I'm going to put that aside. They need to go. That's by default settings. That stays permanent, no problem. The manager there has got a serious front line. If he can't even create an opportunity for them to score a goal, it's a problem with the system. And tell me this, who's actually playing well consistently in this whole team?
De Ligt.
Lenny Euro.
I just want to come in there.
Every time we conceded a corner, even the manager's turning away.
He's consistently bad on every corner.
You've got to be able to look at Ruben Amorim and say, hang on a minute, man. What are you actually doing to make me a believer? I'm not asked. Look, today, forget the performances of the penalty. Bruno was dreadful. Dalot was the worst. Fine, we accept all that. No problem. Last week, I thought it was good. I gave him his props. Well done. This week, it's just last season's performance, man. Same as last season. You got now 3 Hoylands.
And we said that. We said that.
3 Hoylands.
We said that nothing has changed. And we said that you were getting too giddy and too overexcited.
It's not getting giddy and excited.
A lot of you called us. And we said that it was because of Arsenal tactics. We said that. We said that, but we were getting called negative.
When the man performs and the team performs good, they deserve their props.
We didn't perform well. The goalkeeper made one good save. Go ahead, Ben.
Yeah, I'd just like to come in. I think what Jarvis said earlier on about system compromise, I think that's probably the best thing any of us have said tonight. I think what Jarvis has said is absolutely spot on, man. And look, I was Ten Hag in to the very last minute. I remember it was me and Jarvis left the panel that we were like, oh, we're trying to hang ourselves into Ten Hag and stuff. And I said to Nurden, and Nurden always said in the panel, says, Manchester United don't need a manager. Manchester United need a coach, right? And I said to Nurden, and I said to Saeed, and I said, okay, you bring me a coach, but we will still have the same issue. And yes, I'm sorry, I'm going back to the agenda. We will still have the same issue with this Bruno and Rashford situation. And it will expose the manager. It will expose the players and the mentality. And what's happened now? We're getting exposed. And most importantly, the midfield too are getting exposed. So, let me just come in there, right? So, Ten Hag, right? Happened the exact same with Ten Hag when he played Fred and McTominay. We all said, right, Fred and McTominay, they have to go. They're gone, right? But there's still one person still there, right? Same with Matic, Pogba, and Ander Herrera. Probably our most balanced midfield since Fergie. As soon as Bruno Fernandes comes in and he plays with Pogba and Matic, what happened? It went tits up. Because the balance was just completely fucking gone, man. Bruno, everyone says, why you're playing Bruno in the wrong position. Yeah, he's not a number 6, but I don't think he plays a 10 in this system. There's a difference between him playing the 10 in the 4-2-3-1 we've played And there's a difference where he plays in the 10 in this system because he's drifted off to the left. He's not actually playing centrally. And this thing is with the 4-2-3-1, I generally don't see him as a midfielder in this 4-2-3-1 if we're going to go back to it. So do you know what? Everyone's, the likes of Luani, Bombaye, everyone, criticize him, beat Yammer out if you want, and I'll come back here and look. I hope I'm wrong. I hope Bruno just say if Xavi comes in and Zaggy comes in, any of these top coaches come in and take us to the top. I hope that actually happens and Bruno proves me wrong. But I promise you right now, we'll be back here with the same situation again, man. We'll be back the same situation again. And the Bruno fans will just say, no, I want him gone. I want the manager gone. No. Bruno's the man. Bruno's our poster boy. And I still believe, because I always think there is a belief behind his contract. Ineos didn't sign Bruno Fernandes. Who signed him? It was the Glazers. It was Woodward. Right? There is something, I genuinely believe there's something in Bruno Fernandes' contract, because we've seen it from Ten Hag, we've seen it Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, we've seen it with Amorim, that in his contract, there's something in his contract that he has to play if he's fit, man. He has to play it, I love to see a stat right now, how many games Bruno Fernandes has missed a game in his Man United career. It's probably under 10 games. And that's mad. And this is making me believe even more and more and more that this fucking propaganda and this fucking contract is a fact, is a truth in it. Because Rashford got it whenever Ollie and Ten Hag was there. Rashford's obviously gone. We've actually got a manager in here that's actually had the balls and say, look, Rashford, I don't need you. You're not in my system. And that's the one thing I'll give massive praise to Ruben Amorim, is he's the guy right now before the guy. He's the guy that gets rid of all the deadwood, can lay down the foundations for the next guy to come through. And I'm not saying instantly hammer him out. I've still given him a wee bit of time, because I genuinely believe
this, the guy
because I still do believe, in my opinion, that if you bring in a Lucien Agume and a Baleba or anyone, just any two CDMs, if you bring me in two midfielders and put them on today against Fulham, and we play it like that today, I'd say, right, guys, I got it all wrong. It is just completely down to the system. The system shit, man. System shit. But I can't, because the midfield hasn't been addressed for so many fucking years. It really hasn't. And this is why I can't say it's down to the system. Because I know Bruno's not a 6. Casemiro's on his last legs. Ugarte can't even play a simple pass.
Can we just all agree that Casemiro's gone? Can we agree?
He's gone. He's gone.
By the way,
he's gone, man.
His legs are
gone.
He's actually asking him to do too much, because if you watch the game today, when we pressed in that first 10 minutes, the two pivot players have to also press, and then the gap then appears because we go for a full press with the two players in the pivot who's supposed to stay disciplined in midfield. And we do that, and then our centre-halves don't follow, and then there's spaces to be exposed. I mean, it's ridiculous, but when I look at something like Casemiro, he was begging it today. Did you see his dive that he got the yellow card for? And by the way, I need to show you this, because this is remarkable, and this is why I'm calling Bruno Fernandes a fucking disgrace. I have to show you this. This is what happened at the end of the game. Apparently, he was about to put the ball down, and then the referee, by accident, brushed past him, right? And he said, as every penalty taker, you have your routine. You have your own things that you need to do. It upset me because the referee didn't apologize, and that's what triggered me in that moment. But that's not an excuse for missing a penalty. So if your routine is messed up as the leader, as the captain of the football team, why didn't you give the ball to somebody else? Why didn't you? Let's just say that. Let's agree with that. Yeah, footballers are superstitious. Yeah, they have their set way of process of going through things. If something has upset that, why didn't you give the ball to Mbemo, who scored like 5 penalties last season the
guy's human, man. You know what I mean? Look at that Dele Alli situation, Nuruddin. everybody was ripping the fuck out of him, and the guy was suffering. Maybe he's having a rough time. Maybe that Saudi thing's back on. It could be anything. Today,
It
Bruno
is
was
that's what I
mental.
said. But why didn't he sub him at half time, Bombay?
But yeah, but that's when we cut. That's
Why?
why I'm focusing on the manager, brother. I
But
can't.
why
I'm
didn't he
not.
sub him?
What, bro? Do you know? We all agree here. Yeah, we don't like the Glazers. Ineos is not perfect, but I will always look at
That's the understatement of the world.
Okay, bro.
Just
But
not
I have to look at my manager.
clueless.
Do you know what I mean? If this guy is not it, you have to understand two things as well. One thing is Bruno, it's as if the only reason he's played is because there is something in this contract. That's what we're saying now.
Yeah.
But Bruno
It has been
Fernandes
years.
has been one of Man United's very best players in the worst moments. He has carried this team. Everybody says it.
Man. Oh.
Everybody says
I'm
it.
afraid
Whether
we don't
you believe
agree.
it or not.
We don't agree. I'm sorry, that's
And-
not
and-
consensus.
and-
Some
and-
of you who
and-
love
and-
Bruno think that. Majority of us don't believe that and don't think that. And the actual facts don't back it up. Take away his penalties and this XG business and that he's got the best passing and all that. It doesn't actually tell you if it was a one-on-one. Like today, the best chance we created was created by Bayendia. That doesn't tell you that Bruno is created that level of chance because the XG it doesn't go specifically. It's not contextual and tell you exactly what it is. Any path forward could be good XG.
By definition, XG is meant to capture context. It's supposed to be.
But it doesn't because there are variables in football. Football is such
Right.
incredible different variables
in
that
a
so
sea of
many
imperfection.
things can happen.
Right.
Bro, it can always
I wanna-
managers could be playing this guy because they think he's a good player.
No, but
I
why was he?
wanna go-
I want to come back on that. Then why was he not a good? Why was he not a good player? So we were actually playing probably, frankly, our best football under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer since
Right.
Van Gaal. Right, we played with Pogba, Herrera, and Matic. Right, we played 6 or 7 games under Ole. We won all 8 games. I remember coming on the Nerd and streaming, I guess. Ole's at the wheel. You know, we were like, literally singing his name, man. And because why? Because we're winning midfield battles. As soon as January hit, that's when we bought Bruno Fernandes, right?
He was a
Soon as the
revelation.
Burnley-
No, but like
no.
Only fell off before that January.
After the Burnley game, because that's when Bruno Fernandes came, we started losing midfield battles. Why?
Come on, Ben.
Answer that question. No,
Ole
answer that question.
came.
Well,
Your timeline is wrong. Your timeline is wrong.
What
Ole
though?
came, had a good 8-game spell. Then we looked like shit. Then we looked really terrible, right? We looked really terrible, and then he finished that season in a bad position. He started the new season with Pereira in the number 10, right? That's how we went into that season with Alexander Pereira, who's in Fulham now, as number 10, and McFred behind him. Then in January, Bruno
Because we had
came.
injuries.
You're right. Then in January, Bruno came. So Ben, the timeline. I know the agenda wants to be pushed, right? I don't want to come in the way of the agenda.
No.
But that timeline it doesn't add up, right? And I think again, Bruno is a good player. I'm with Bumaye that.
So what does he do off the ball then? What does he do off the ball? Tell me how good Bruno Fernandes is off the ball.
He tries to do everybody else's job, Ben. That's what he does.
Bruno Fernandes, Ben, in terms of covering
He does
yards,
everybody else's job.
is phenomenal, bro. But
Oh
you're
my
playing it.
God.
But look, you're talking about bringing in, boys are talking about bringing in a Belaber. That's the guy to fix the problem.
No, but he won't be. But he won't
No,
go.
it's
He
not
won't.
just
He
gonna be
won't.
one
I'm
player.
not saying that. I'm not saying that.
No. Listen, you're talking about a profile of player that is opposite to the guy who's been asked to play where he's deficient.
But
He's
they
a
were
10 man. He's a creator.
Doing that all the time. Bruno was also playing as a false 9 because we were playing a 4-2-3-1. I would like to go back on that what we said about Amorim is compromising on the system. Now we all know that managers work with their DM to point them in the direction that they want to play, so the DM can provide them the director of football, can provide them with the players that they need. We have a situation here where clearly we went through a transfer window. If we think that Amorim needed a first phase player, and that's the most important player in his system, why did we go spend money on Cunha Why did we go spending money on Mbeumo? Why did we spend money on a striker? Why? Because after all, he had to talk to Vivel. He had to talk to his board to identify what his priorities are.
They,
We went to spend money in another area, and we didn't bring in the players that he needs.
Can I answer the question? Because the whole fan base and the whole football club has been lacking goals, even under Ten Hag. We've been scoring. Our scoring has been woeful. But because I keep saying it again and again, when you play through specific one player, you are always subject to that player's form. Whether when he's playing good, you might win games. When he's playing bad, you won't win games. And the two players we played through was Rashford and Bruno predominantly.
Yeah.
Now, they just went for goals, right? Then the fan base got brainwashed into thinking, and I made how many videos on this channel talking about who's gonna set these forwards up. If you can't retain the ball and you can't keep the pressure on and play in the other team's half, how are they gonna get the chances to score? We are weak and soft in the middle, and that's why it worries me. It's not just Amorim. I look at Jason Wilcox and Omar Barada and Vival and the rest of the clowns, and I am worried because if they can't identify that you need specifically in the Premier League, you might get away with it in other leagues, but in the Premier League, you need to be strong in midfield. You need physicality and a technical ability to be able to dictate and play. And at times, you need to take the snuff out of the game. You need to be able to take it. When you're under the cosh, you need a player that can, just like Sanderberger was doing today for Fulham, just keeps it ticking. One more pass, gets it back, moves into position, bang, back, like a snooker player. Yeah, like players who are like 3 or 4. He said, but unfortunately, Luani, and I kept saying this, and the video is there on this channel. I said it. I rang the alarm about Amorim before he even signed that on dotted line. Yeah. I said he's another guy who vacates the midfield. The video is on this channel. I spoke about it before he even came, and we said that is dangerous. That is dangerous because in the Premier League, you have to be able to play through the midfield. And the reason why we huff and puff, and what he's doing now with Mbeumo and Cunha dropping so deep, they're having to carry the ball so much, and their lungs, they're going to be really tired.
Then that's one aspect to it, right? The second aspect I'm trying to bring up is, okay, let's assume we didn't bring in Mbeumo, Cunha, and Sesko. Let's look at the personnel that we have. Are you guys hand on heart are going to tell me that Bruno is a better Bruno and Ugarte are better first phase player than Kobe and Collier? And yet Kobe can now buy a game and Collier is being sent on loan. This is I just want to make sure that we don't confuse what I think is a clear case of favoritism. I will even go all to say sabotage or misprofiling to something else. You know, this look to me that Amorim is just misprofiling the players that he have on hand for his own system.
Yeah, I mean, want to go around. We've been live for 2 hours.
What he's saying there is a serious indictment on the manager, unless the manager has absolutely no say. Because if you buy a forward line to bang goals, but you simply cannot give them, feed them, get the ball to them, surely you must be smart enough. It don't take a genius. I can see it, and you can see it, and he can see it. Bro, surely you should have gone and bought that midfielder. Is Mbeumo absolutely essential for this? I'm asking that question. Why didn't you go and get the club? Why didn't you go and get?
The club thinks so. That's why they bought a guy who scored 20 goals last season.
Why didn't you go and get that midfielder, man, to give them to get the ball?
That's why I'm worried.
That's why I'm worried. On the board.
Because this is you see, this is the thing.
Actually, the manager's
Luani, you see my problem. You see my problem, bro.
After the Leeds game, we played a game. The first game we played in this preseason was against Leeds. Leeds ran over us, and it was the first preseason game. Nobody was fit. Yeah. The quote from Amorim is that it's worrying. We need midfielders. We need physicality. And then he said it again against. I don't know who we played. Did we play West Ham or somebody
West
else
Ham, it
like
was
that
West
or
Ham, it was
whatever.
West Ham.
And then he
Yes.
said it again, and then we played Everton, and he kept saying, and that's why the club, the PR went all to belabor, but we don't even have fucking any money to
How
buy.
can you say we need midfielder? You don't play through the midfield.
But just very quickly though, as
He
well.
said that's the physicality.
Everyone thinks
Not a
Amram has
ball
a
player.
say. Everyone thinks Amram has a say when he goes to Wilcox and Pavel and Barada. He doesn't. He actually has like a 10-15% say in the meetings. Sir Jim's actually said this to Gary Neville in the interview. He says, "So who makes the majority of the decisions in the board? That'll be Joel, myself, Wilcox, and Barada and Pavel." He says Amram actually only has like a 10-15% of his say. So if he says, "Guys, get me Baleba. Guys, get me a midfielder." No, actually, do you know what? We're gonna. I know this guy from Leipzig, Sesko. We're gonna go and get him. We're gonna go and get him. So look, but here it's the exact same. Norden. He wants a midfielder. What's happened now? What's happened now? We're getting lemons or lemons. We're getting lemons. So that just proves
Listen, I agree with you.
That's
Listen,
crazy.
we've been live for 2.5 hours. Sorry,
not
2 hours straight. I'm extremely tired, and Manchester United do not pay me to fucking talk about them for 2 hours straight. I've talked about them for 5 hours straight today. I did a watch along with Saeed, and it was a fucking tiring. So I just want to go to Ben, stay with Ben. Ben, give me your last of the word. We know that I never want to come out and say that Amarim is not in charge. I'm saying to you, Amarim didn't bring himself. Amarim, for me, I said it last season, is out of his depth. He's learning on the job, and I 100% agree with Jarvis. And he's somebody who actually doesn't playing through the field. He plays through the centre backs, and we don't even have the correct centre halves for him. Luke Shaw is not a guy that's going to go up and down and going to ball carry. He's not. Luke Shaw is coming to the end of his career. He stays put, and he just starts hoofing the ball. That's not the way Amarim wants to play. You think that he is compromising in the midfield. He's compromising in his own centre halves as well. He needs a ball player centre half. Unfortunately, that guy's injured. Maybe he might have made a difference, but he's been injured for a long, long time. I just want to get everybody's last word of the show. Amarim is in charge of the way the team train, the way they perform, the subs that he makes. But I refuse to say that Bruno Fernandes dictates plays when he wants, because I've seen it on the 3 different managers that they all never sub him, and the only guy who subbed him was Michael Carrick. Go ahead, Ben. I want to hear from you. Trebs, I can't let you on because we're finishing now, bro. We're finishing. Next show, I promise. Go ahead.
Yeah, big up Nerd, big up the panel. Cracking show tonight, boys. I must say. And big up the chat, man. Make sure you hit the likes, and always free Palestine every day, man, and fuck Zionism. Yeah, man. Look, it was embarrassing today from both Amarim and the team, like in general. Yeah, like let's see, we go again next week against Burnley. It's got to be a win, bro, especially at home. He's got.
We're jumping ahead. We play Grimsby on Wednesday.
Bro, I don't give a shit about that, man. I really don't give a shit. I really don't. Anyways, like I said, I'm not going to be Amarim in. I'm not going to be Amarim out. You know, I am done with all this manager bullshit, because I'm not going to be saying those words until the cancer of this team is out of my club, and that's Bruno Fernandes. You can't remove a tumor, and the cancer's still there, man. The cancer will always remain there until he's gone. And I know I'm sounding so harsh, but I promise you, bro, I've been saying it for so many fucking years, bro. This guy's a massive detrimental off the ball in any fucking system, bro. Even if we bring in Xavi or Inzaghi, I promise you, man, we'll be back to the same shit again with Bruno Fernandes. Get this fraud gone. Bombay, I'm so sorry, man. I'm not going to be on the positive thing anymore with Man United results. I remember me and you were saying 3-1 to the Fulham game, but
we're gonna have to be cautious. Yeah,
we're going to be cautious indeed. But yeah, man, big up everyone. Much love. It's all love at the end of the day, people. It's opinion, and this is why we love football. Hit the likes, people, and free Palestine. Big up, nerd.
People, we're nowhere near 300 likes. That was the target we set. Let me just get this super chat. Big up to everybody, and please no abusing of the panelists. No abusing. You're getting banned if you abuse the panelists. It's a football debate. Don't make it fucking personal, and stop being xenophobic, you little prick. The Fulham manager himself said it's simple to figure out Amarim's tactics. It's not a conspiracy theory. Amarim is just limited by his ideas. Yeah, and he's refusing to change. I actually rate that if he managers who stick by their guns. But for me, I always think stick by your guns when you've got the things to work with. And unfortunately, the tools that he's been given is not it. But go ahead, Luani. Last word from you.
That's all for me. It's just to conclude today is the biggest indictment on the game today was when I saw the heat map and the touches for both Iwobi and Bruno. Both are the playmaker on both two teams. Iwobi have 64 touch in our half, and Bruno have about
Because they
73 touch.
dominated us.
Yeah,
They were the better team.
Yep. Bruno have 73 touch in our own half. Bruno is not gonna hurt anybody if he's playing in our own half with majority of his touches. As much as I hate him and I don't rate him, he have to play in the opponent's half of the pitch in order to give us something. It's all about the manager knowing his players, knowing their strength, their weaknesses, and knowing how to use them in his system, in which he had to adapt as soon as possible. I'm not even advocate for him to change his system at this point, but just identify the right players. You have Kobe Mino sitting there, and we're still seeing Kobe Mino. We still seeing Ugarte coming on before Kobe Mino. While we know Kobe Mino is a better first player, even though that's not his position. He's still a better first player than Ugarte. Amorim, I don't hate him. He just need to let go of the favoritism, stand on his principle, and play the players that suited best that principle. That's all. It's not personal.
Yeah. Go ahead, Jarvis. Give me your last word.
Yeah, I think you guys covered a great debate. Everybody's tuned in, over 500 people at one time, and I hope everybody remember to smash the like and subscribe if this was your first time on United Real Therapy. So yeah, I think we will have the Bruno debate. This won't be the last time, and we will continue talking about Bruno for the whole season. I believe he will stay and he will play in the pivot. I think it was interesting reading Marco Silva's comment after the game. He said we knew how they defended, and we know they like to squeeze from the back five, and you don't give bodies to them to squeeze from the back five, so you can create superiority in the middle. We know they play with two in the middle, and we try to overload with R3 plus Alex Iwobi. It was as simple as that. And I think it tells a lot, when an opposition manager just tells how simple it was. We all remember, was it Arne Slot who last season after playing Man United exposed us? And I think this is where Amorim needs to evolve. He needs to learn. He needs to adapt. He needs to try. And yes, he needs to stick with his principles, but he needs to adapt to the Premier League, because I think it's a little bit too simplistic, this what we are doing, especially in the midfield. Everybody knows games are won and lost in the midfield, especially in the Premier League. It's always a battle. You have to fight for every inch. Yes. Duels, passing, dribbling, all of this, it counts. Yeah. And also when it comes to the new players, I think it's too soon. I think both Cunha and Bumo and Seshko will come good. But they will need time to learn. It's a difficult system. I think it's because they need to understand exactly what to do. And we have a system manager. We don't have a man manager type of Ancelotti type of guy who's feel good, wants to give everybody just the right vibe. He sets up the team systematically, and he has specific roles for every player. Today we could see Sesko coming in. He didn't know how to press.
I thought his touches were good though.
Yeah, but he couldn't take out Sander Berge, and suddenly Sander Berge could drop down and receive the ball, give it around 1-2s, and suddenly Fulham was cooking. And I think it specifically that goal, Fulham's goal, came from. It started with Sesko didn't follow Sander Berge, so it's a lot of things, it's a lot of details, but give it time, and hopefully they will come good.
Right, quickly. Yeah, go ahead, because it's getting to a long show. Go ahead, Sean.
Yeah, Amorim has a lot to prove. I think, the jury is out for me personally on the system. I don't think it's a given that if you get him all the players that he wants, the system works. I also don't think it's fair to ask that unless you're given every single thing that you ask for. United are going to come 17th. So I want to see more. I want to see more from Amorim. I want to see him building for the future instead of sticking with guys like Casemiro. I don't like the fact that the ball spends a lot of time with Leniora and Luke Shaw. He needs to figure out a way to get his shit together. He needs to strip the captaincy from Bruno also because Bruno is a good player, but he doesn't need to start every single game, 90 minutes, 365, 24/7 or whatever. But yeah, honestly, for me, I'm putting it at Amorim. I'm not looking forward to this week at all because I can't watch any football highlights because it's shit that we played. So Amorim has a lot to prove. I really hope he succeeds. But if he doesn't, yeah, I think we're going to find out soon. Come October or November, we might be looking at a new manager.
Yeah. Go ahead, Bumbaye.
This isn't a learning school, man. I mean, you don't get time at this level. Sorry.
The people who bought him think it is.
Yeah, well, the fans are not going to think it is. End of the day, you
Oh,
can
the fans
dress
are
it up.
backing him. That's even the word. The fans back him. To be fair to the fan
I
base,
back
they
him.
back him.
I back him. I'm still backing him.
Yeah.
I'm not hammering him out at all. But this system is the problem. The way that he sets up the team, I don't personally enjoy watching it at all. It's horrible to watch. It's so boring, this football. There's no entertainment value. I'm never off my seat. I don't see any moments of anything in this team. It's the most boring shit I've ever seen. And we had Ten Hag before it. At a certain point, man, fans are not just dead hearts walking around. Either you get results that offsets the post-match analysis, and we can buys you time to go again. If you're not going to get results or any level of performances, then you're going to have a major problem, and it'll come a lot quicker than you think. And there is a very real possibility that this manager's not a good manager. Just because he succeeded
Yeah, he's
before.
a young man. Yeah, it was a risk.
You know what I mean?
He
Ten
said it
Hag
before they hired
succeeded
him.
before. He
It was
came
a
in.
massive risk.
It didn't work out. It's you can always say how long is a piece of string, but at a certain point you will have a decision to make. If he turns it around, of course, great. And this Bruno thing, guys, that's not his position. He's playing there. I don't think he's happy to play there. And I think the fact that you have only one game a week now, Ruben Amorim's going to have a serious job on his hands, keeping Amad Diallo happy, who deserves to be playing, keeping Xerxes happy, who's a good player. And if Højlund doesn't go, you're going to have a lot of problems in this team. He's got to find his right players. He's got to find a better balance for this team and be able to progress the ball through the phases of play. If he can't find that balance, he's dead. And as far as Bruno is concerned, it's up to him. If Carrick can bench him, you can bench him. If you don't think he's good there, then put him in a 10. He can play in a 10. Then you can put Kobe Mainu there. Satisfy what people want. You've got so many options to choose from. If you keep doing the same thing and it's not yielding anything different, then I'm going to have to look at you. But right now, I don't like what I see at all.
Because he said he needs physicality in those positions. People, I just want to get the super chat. Big up to my guy here. It's just waffling. Big up. Fulham manager himself said it was simple to figure out Amorim tactics. It's not conspiracy to be Amorim just limited by his ideas. Yeah. I think Jarvis hit that on there.
It was, bro.
Everybody exposes us.
You know those wing back things he's trying to do. Sucker punch you. All that shit. Nothing worked today. It was easy peasy, man.
I mean, Diego Dalot came on and probably put in one of the worst performances defensively and attacking wise. I don't know if you watched it, but he was.
What hurt the most is watching Arsenal yesterday 4-0 up, and then they put their youngsters in. They're not only competing right now, but they're also preparing their future already.
Yeah,
we can compete right now, and our youngsters want out. Our youngsters want to go. They don't want to stay in this
Dogu
shit.
was doubled up on, by the way, as well today. Dogu. Listen, we're not competing with Arsenal. We're not competing with Arsenal. Our owners make sure we don't compete with Arsenal. Like I said, for me, the fact that Amorim kept his job, for me, from where we finished last season, is remarkable to me. absolutely remarkable. I don't think there's a fast way to get in there. One thing I do agree with Jarvis, there's no quick fix to this shit. Sacking him, keeping him, he ain't gonna fix it. Buying better players will fix it. Getting better players who can cope with the demands, the physicality and the technical ability you need to succeed in this league. That can, because we've seen it proven at Chelsea, where Ibrahimovic was sacking managers every time they didn't win. And they bring a new manager because they had a core of players who wanted to win and who wanted to perform. And unfortunately, we don't have that at this football club because we've always had the shit. And the only manager that I also saw that actually was kind of predominantly backed was Ten Hag in the last 13 years. But he even wasn't fully backed. So for me, I'm always like, you can't be half pregnant. You can't do a half rebuild. You can't do a half backing. You either fully back or you're gonna get results like this, and where we are in this league. People, please keep smashing like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Those of you want to see, please check out the video that I did. It was that's what we're gonna be doing from now on. We're gonna be doing more videos. We're gonna try to go live a couple of times a week, but we're gonna do more videos. So please smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and check out the match reaction as well. Big up to everybody. Let me just say, everybody, make sure you check out Jarvis Cocker, Bowley, Bole, on X. Make sure you check out the YouTube channel, him and Stu. I was out and about. I caught bits of it when I was out and about on the phone, even though my headphones were breaking down. Big up to Stu as well. Make sure you subscribe to Tactical Devils. Breakdown of every Manchester United game is there. One of the best breakdowns. And the best, I personally think, best Monday night YouTube Manchester United show. 9 o'clock, Jarvis Corner. Make sure you check that out. Make sure you check out Ben at Elmore39 on the X, and make sure you check him out on Twitch, Elmore20. Make sure you check out Sean. Sean is at Sean Thomas. And make sure you check out his geopolitical podcast, How We See Things, across all your podcasting providers. You'll never see Bumbaye anywhere else other than on here and Tactical Devils. That's the only place you'll see him. Luani, 1979. Make sure you check him out on there on X, United Trucker. That's what it should be called. I think he should change his name to the United Trucker. You know what I mean? So big up to every one of you. Love and light. The arguments will go on. I don't obfuscate any responsibility from Amorim, but Amorim did not bring himself here. The people who bought him here cannot be let scot-free. They bought him. They kept him. He had a meeting in, I think it was Monaco. They had a meeting or somewhere they met before the season started, after the final of that Spurs game, and the decision was made to keep him. For me, I always said you employ from the Premier League. I wanted Areola, I wanted De Zerbi, and Hans Flick as well. These are the managers. The only guy that I was thinking about was Hans Flick outside of the UK. But unfortunately, they brought a young coach in who, to me, looked like he was out of his depth last season, and he still looks like he's out of his depth. But I don't also take the responsibility away from the players, because some of the players are dreadful as well. And Free Palestine, please like and subscribe to the channel. Big up to Trebles. Next time we'll get you on, King. I promise you. I just couldn't get into a longer debate. But next time we're live, you're coming on. You're one of the first on, and we'll hear from what you think. Hopefully we'll be live maybe on Tuesday night. Love and light, people. Make sure you tune in tomorrow to Jarvis Corner, Tactical Devils. Make sure you go over there and subscribe to that channel. Make sure you follow everybody else here. And make sure you follow Lesso as well. It's at Black Rain on X, at Black Rain X. We've been live now for 2 hours and 23 minutes. It's a long, long time. Love, light, everybody. Manchester United, the thing we go with, back to life, back to reality. Mumbai, Send Me Soul to Soul, the greatest soul trio, soul album ever made in the UK. And that's what we are. And I stand by it. I stand by it. Last week, you all got gassed because Arsenal allowed us the ball and sat back. And this was always going to be. That's why I was like, well, maybe 2-1 in Burma and Cunha can do something. But unfortunately, they didn't even have the ball to do anything. You can't blame them if you don't give your attackers the ball to go and do things. We did it for the first 10 minutes. and we didn't. And the best chance we created today came from the goalkeeper. And by the way, we still have not, any Manchester United have not scored a goal. Today, the goal that we scored was Muniz.
And
But we've got an assist. We've got an assist.
VAR is corruption, man. That VAR thing is corruption. It's just another way to take the decision away from the small teams and give it to the big teams. I'm not okay with that.
Love and light, people. Take care. Enjoy the bank holiday if you're in the UK. I don't know if it's a bank holiday in the US, but it's a bank holiday in the UK. Enjoy. Love and light.
Okay.
Solidarity
Love
and
and
love to everybody.
Good night,
Free
guys.
Palestine, free Lebanon, free Congo, free Sudan, free people from Zionism and oppression and materialism, militarism and colonization. We stand with the resistance of people globally who are resisting colonization and imperialism. Fuck the fucking Zionists. Love and light. Glazers, Ineos out. Win, lose or draw. Glazers, Ineos out. That is as clear as it comes. Take care, people.
Take care.